What is up, everybody? Welcome back. It is before we do our introductions, I do want to say I want to apologize for not being on last week. Shit happens, things happen. And there goes the cussing joke. Stop that. Get one. Uh I am your host, the one, the only, the most chaotic panelist in all of Texas, and the most chaotic podcast host in the state, who is now going to Comic Palooza. That's right. Our Comic Palooza show is going to be Friday, the 24th. We actually have an event page for that. So joining me is my co-host. He's the man with the plan. He runs the skinny. He is the Texas Gaming Hedgehog, and he will spin dash his way into your subscriptions and into your hearts, and hopefully into your wallets, because we got merch coming out. That's right. If you haven't seen already, we announced our first official T-shirt. Joining me is the one, the only Keyblade Sonic.
Hello, everybody.
You sound like whenever we sound like Brian Last and like Jim Cornette. I do the Jim Cornette, like when Jim Cornette does the elaborate introductions, and then you sound like Brian Last. He's like, "Aloha, everybody."
Hello, everybody.
All right, so before we introduce our guest, let's go over a few things that it's been 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a couple episodes. I got to get the link anyway.
I was like, I'm trying to wait for that link.
I know I can't multitask. I'm sorry. It's just once I do one thing, I'm just like, what was I supposed to do?
Yeah, you're like,
What?
main focus.
Focus, Jesse, focus.
Focus.
Okay, so it's in the private chat. We have a little private chat. Anime Con Party. Oh, it's Deacon Rap. You can't fool us, fool. We see you ain't slick.
Is it better to watch on YouTube or Twitch?
It's better to watch it on YouTube because we're trying to get our numbers up.
Okay. I got like an alert on my phone that said that you were live, and I was like, oh, I'm right here.
Like, come watch the show, but I'm in it. But watch it anyway.
On it.
That's right. For those of you joining us, do us a quick favor, guys, because the YouTube algorithm sucks and it absolutely hates us.
Sure does.
Go ahead and like the video. Give us a like. Go ahead and hit that like button, and hit the bell, ring-a-ling, the ding-a-ling button, so you can be notified every time we go live. So we're introducing something which is called the Cuss Meter, because we are now no longer a mature podcast. That's right, sponsors out there who want to like help us out because we're poor and brown and all of the above. That's right, we're changing our ratings. We're no longer mature, audience only. So there goes our Pornhub partnership.
Oh my god.
We can't even access it here anyway.
I know it sucks, right? there goes that money out. Well, we weren't getting anything anyway, because
like, let me just send this link to my mom, and then as soon as I sent it, she probably clicked it and he said Pornhub, and she's probably like, goodbye.
no, it's actually a running joke. We actually so the moment so when we introduce ourselves, I always say I'm the most chaotic podcast host and panelist in all of Texas. And the events director for a convention heard that. They're like, I don't want to work with this guy.
Oh no.
Like, we don't want to work with somebody that's chaotic. And I'm like, you do realize that's a stage thing, right? That's how podcasting works. It's a joke, bruh.
That's a joke.
I was gonna say something, but I'm trying to keep the cussing meter down to a minimum. Right now we're at 1. Last week it was not last week, 2 weeks ago, it was 27 times that I cussed.
That's about.
Which is, down by
105.
Yes, it was like in the two. It used to be like every other sentence. I almost cussed right now, but yeah, you get it. We got some people watching us. Just to kind of go over some quick things, because I don't know how much of a skinny we have, but there are a couple things that we have to go over because we're obligated to. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This podcast is brought to you by Comic Palooza in Houston, Texas, at the George R. Brown Convention Center. That is right. Comic Palooza is back May 24th through the 26th. You can go to comicpalooza.com right now to get your passes. You can get your speed pass for as low as $100 and I believe it was $140. Let me see. So the speed pass will let you skip the general line so you can get your autograph from the one, the former 16-time world champion. You can't see him, and the star of Peacemaker, John Cena.
Do. That was the most underwhelming. Yeah,
Jesse,
and not
hurry up.
not just that. Also brought in guests from Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd,
Yes.
which is actually pretty cool that they're going to be there.
Michael J. Fox is awesome.
Yeah, he's incredible. So they're actually cooking up more with these guests. You know, the convention's getting really close than we thought we were.
Yeah, and
Like-
they got the little girl from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Bro, they have Robert Englund who's going to be there.
That's
If you
cool.
those of you that don't know, he played Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street, and he played the dad of the main villain in Stranger Things.
Yes.
Pretty sweet.
They have some anime guests, but I didn't really look at that. Whatever.
Yeah, a couple from like Spy Family. There you go. I'll say that Spy Family.
So,
They got some guy that looks like Freddie Prinze Jr., but he's not Freddie Prinze Jr. So
what? Who is it?
so Chip Zdarsky. He was in.
Why does that
I
sound
don't.
familiar?
Oh, these are they're comic book writers.
Yeah, the comic artists.
They have some. How are they have cosplay guests and then they have voice actors just kind of like there. Resident Evil Village, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Kimiko Glenn.
Oh yeah, that's Penny Parker.
What?
Yeah, from Spider-Verse.
Penny Parker.
Yeah, from Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Oh, my daughter would love that.
All right, so Comic Palooza advertisement continues. That's right. You can go to comicpalooza.com right now and make sure you. So Comic Palooza is a great convention. Come out and hang out with Geeks 5 Ever. Our podcast goes live Friday. Oh, crap. Uh-oh.
What
What?
happened?
I just realized something about that. I'll figure it out. Friday at 3 p.m. Shit. In room. Now it's at 2.
2.
So it's gonna go. So we're gonna go live. We're gonna be live. So make sure you join us. We're doing a con survival guide. Obviously, we're gonna go very off topic, but join us at Comic Palooza. Make sure if you're gonna go, and this is an advertisement, guys. If you're gonna go and have fun, there's nothing wrong with going to a convention and enjoying your spicy water.
Spicy.
But what we don't recommend is drinking and driving. So if you're going to do that, make sure you Uber back and forth. If you live locally in the area, or book your hotel right now at the Hilton or Marriott. But we do not drink and drive. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's not even a joke. Don't do it.
Bad stuff.
Bad stuff happens, guys. It's horrible. The city already, it's not great here. Ugh. Anyways, all right. Shameless advertising over. Wait, one more.
It's not
One
shameless if you sponsor.
And our second sponsor, Deacon Rap. Go check out his stuff. Thank you. He's giving me. No, I got your advertisement, Deacon. I'll do your stuff halfway through the show. I got your email. I'll do it. We just didn't do a show last week, so I didn't have a chance to. That's not $2 in the swear jar. I'm poor. I can't do that. I could barely. I had to renew the subscription for the format the platform we use today. Like, yeah. So I'm gonna. Okay, so what do we have anything left on the skinny besides Comic Palooza, which is actually about 25 days away from now?
Yeah, we're getting really close to it. Basically a month away.
Days. 25 days. The road to Comic Palooza.
The road to Comic Palooza is sick. And also, so this weekend, for you comic book enthusiasts out there, this Saturday specifically, is free comic book day. So anybody out there who can visit your local comic book shop, you can get a couple of free comics. Maybe to help take anybody who wants to, bring your children. Some of them can, want to have their first comic. And also, this is a big announcement, especially here in the Houston area. This weekend, starting at 11 a.m., with collaboration with Sega, The Sonic Speed Cafe is in the Katy area. So basically, it will be on 348 Mason Road, Katy, Texas. So basically, what it is a basically essentially a pop-up shop dedicated to Sonic the Hedgehog. So anybody out there who's a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, you
Yeah.
can go in there. You could try out the new menu. You could try out. They have new merchandise, giveaways, events going on. That's going to happen starting this Saturday, May the 4th at 11 a.m. And it will last until August the 4th. So basically, it's going to be a all summer long pop-up shop. So if anybody out there, I'll be there day one. So if you guys see me, say hi. Maybe we'll probably see you guys there. And yeah.
That's right. So Geeks Fiber is going to get a group together so you can
Sonic.
go and
See,
enjoy Sonic's hot dog in your mouth.
The Sonic Speed Cafe.
Sonic Speed Cafe,
Mhm.
the fastest thing alive.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me catch up with the comments. So shout out to Trash Queen and King. They have a podcast show, very successful one. Okay, I want to know what this is. I'm fully aware of myself. I don't know what that's a reference to. Can't see him, but you can feel him. That's gonna land you in jail. $2 in the swear jar. No.
No.
And
Jail
the
immediately.
Hilton is sold out for most of the rooms. Man, don't stay at the crappy Hiltons. Come stay with us at the Marriott. Marriott, Marquez or whatever. It's fancy French. I don't know. They have that Texas shaped lazy river pool. That's the one you want to go to.
The Texas shape one.
Yeah, it's huge. It's shaped like Texas, but it's a lazy river.
Pretty sweet, huh?
It is, bro. Like you go in there, get yourself a little coconut drink with the little umbrella and the straw, and just fall asleep. And security's kicking you out because you snuck in.
Snuck in.
Holiday Inn has free breakfast, bro. I don't even have time to eat. Like I'm kind of upset. I'm upset at you, Deacon, because you got your schedule before me. I haven't gotten mine yet. I haven't gotten mine, and I need to prepare. And the reason why I'm upset because I got a new class for work, and I'm not allowed to take days off. And I work Fridays, and our podcast is on Friday at 3. So I need to figure out what I'm gonna do.
We're in a pickle.
Yep,
No.
Sonic, you might have to take charge.
Oh.
All right, Sonic, it's time to, be a man. Take over.
My time to shine.
Well, if Jesse were here, he would probably say like, insert random cuss word here.
That's pretty much how it would go.
Yeah, not cussing.
No
Be a good
cussing.
noodle.
So I'm gonna allow okay. So while I get some water, I'm gonna allow our guest to introduce herself because
Introduce myself.
yes, because that was
Yes,
the plan.
you
Because
are
gotta
your-
get more
you are-
interactive.
That's right. You are our guest. Today's guest is.
Right, it's all about you.
Oh, all
There's-
about me?
Yeah, today's your big
How
moment. Just
much
tell
time
us
do we
about
have?
yourself. Just say, introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself, and there we go.
Cool. My name is Danae Cortez. I am better known on the internet as the Big Bad Mama Wolf. I live in Lubbock, Texas, and I am the co-founder of Lubbock Con. I also started the nonprofit cosplay group here called LBK Guardians. What else? Oh my gosh. I'm like, there's so many. I'm also a co-host on Rediscovering the Magic with Rick and Friends, which is a Disney podcast.
Okay.
Like all of the things. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm also here in town. I also show art and teach art. And I just got hired to be an art teacher at a place
Yay.
to call home. So it's going to be a new center here in Lubbock for adults with intellectual disabilities, and I'm going to be teaching art.
Hey, that's really cool. That's really cool.
Art is
Excited.
hard.
So art is hard, and whenever I tell people I teach art, they're like, "Oh my god!" So like, can you draw? And I'm like, no. So here's the thing. I'm all about making like art and even like cosplay and everything like accessible for people, individuals with intellectual disabilities.
Mhm.
So it's more about making art accessible. And in my classroom, when I taught art before, I had a sign that said "Art isn't perfect," and so that's my whole thing is letting them experience different types of art, whether it be clay or painting. We do a whole lot of painting because I really love to paint. but letting them experience art that they hadn't been able to have the chance to, especially in school and stuff, because they were put into different programs and things. And so I don't have to know how to art well. I know art good, but I can teach them how to experience art in a fun way.
I'm trying to find a picture.
A picture.
Yeah, because we share images on here. Let me show you.
I'm nervous.
Like, yeah, we can share images like this
In front of his elote.
right in front of the elote. Okay, just because I can't cuss doesn't mean I can't share memes that cuss. So ha.
That's exactly what that means. That's 3. See, that counts.
No, it doesn't
That's
count. I
3.
didn't say it. So when the podcast goes audio only, which by the way is going to go ahead and start in May. That's right, guys. For those of you that want to listen to the show and not have to tune in on YouTube, I'm looking into Spotify so the podcast can go audio only. You guys notice that we stopped doing the 2-minute, in the beginning we used to have like a 2-minute waiting period where it'll just like pop up and it'll play like crappy elevator music, and like it would just be a 2-minute waiting period. Like, all right, guys, this is your chance to go potty, go use the bathroom, get some water, get what you need. And so like it was 2 minutes, but we stopped doing that. So like we have our little intro now, like the little video that plays. And we just kind of start, no more waiting. But yeah, so we're going on Spotify, guys. So I'll let y'all know and I'll post that link. And if we have any new viewers today, if you haven't joined our Discord, we do need people to go on there. And so I can't say the S word, but we do need people to like poop post, I guess.
Dookie posting.
Dookie posting.
Caca posting.
Caca posting. There you go.
Yeah,
Dookie.
caca posting.
Tenemos que van para allá en el Discord en que ponen cagada.
I'm not even in the Discord.
I will send you the link.
Yeah, we'll send you a link.
That's you got it, John. There's so much. Oh God, there's so much tea that's spilled in there.
Is there just a channel like just for Cheesemate? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, there is.
You'll find out when you get in there. Let's say
Yeah,
that.
we have one for like
I'm not part of the
Cheesemate.
elite yet.
We have one for like people that like adult like lewd stuff, and then we have one for like memes, which is my favorite. We have one for wrestling.
We have stuff about cons. We have stuff about like sharing your like plug-in.
That one's
stuff.
pretty much Cheesemate if you really get down to it. The one about conventions.
I bet. Give me the cheese, please.
The cheese. All right. All right. So this month, guys, we didn't come back last episode. There are a couple things that we need to talk about this week. And I'll probably get to them as soon as I can. So the one thing I want to talk about later on in this week is the Miku concert that happened. That's happening right now. People are checking it out. People are having fun. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of the Miku concert. We are still doing our special on Whole Wheat Pete. I kind of delayed that one. And hear me out on this. I am going to contact Whole Wheat Pete and see if they'll come on the show. Because I don't know Whole Wheat Pete. I've heard bad things. I've never had a personal experience, but so before we go
Let him speak for himself.
That's right. Let Thin Mints come on the show and defend himself. Pan Dulce Pedro needs a chance to have their voice heard too. So honey wheat, honey toast. What was his name again?
Whole Wheat Pete.
Oh, Whole Wheat. Yeah, Whole Wheat. I call him
Wheat
toast bread.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I always get the names mixed up, bro. Like people think that it's part of your gimmick, right? You always get the names wrong. Like, no, that's like legit. I don't know.
I just don't remember.
It's like that bum from Superbad when he runs into McLovin in the bus. Yeah, it's you, McMuffin. That's me. I'm the bum. All right, so today's episode is dedicated to autism awareness. So this is Autism Awareness Month. For those of you that aren't aware, April is Autism Awareness Month. So we're going to talk about the differences that come with it, like what is it, what does it mean, being on the spectrum, and all kinds of things. Because people, I think there's a mixed like understanding of what autism is and isn't. But we're also going to talk about other things as well. We're going to talk about other disabilities because people, believe it or not, it's crazy how often people will mistake certain disabilities with other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, it's not a one size fits all kind of scenario. And not everyone's the same when it comes to disabilities, because there are some people that have it, like when it comes to, because I'm dyslexic, and there are different levels to it. Like I also have another disability which I will get into. But yeah, it's one of those things to where we kind of want to address it. And just to kind of continue with before we start, we are going to do another mental health awareness, guys. For those of you that don't know, we do our yearly mental health awareness podcast. So we're going to talk about that, but we're going to see how Comic Palooza goes, because we have convention season is officially started. Comic Palooza is not our WrestleMania, but we kind of treat it that way. With Comic Palooza coming up, we are applying for other conventions such as Etchy Expo. We're applying for that. What's that new convention in Houston? That's the 18 plus convention, the Lewd convention. Do you know what it is?
I don't remember the name of it. I'm
I don't
sorry.
remember either.
Well, we'll look it up. We have a lot of conventions coming up. You know, Delta.
We have Delta, BotCon.
BotCon.
We have San Japan this year, bro.
San Japan, Colossal Con.
Plus, you're gonna see Sonic at Sonic X.
Bo.
Yeah, that's right. He'll be over there. You know,
Sonic
Expo. Gatekeeping at the door, not informing anyone.
Yeah, that's in November, so don't worry about that. We got plenty of time for that. And also right now the plan is to represent Geeks 5 Ever at Anime Expo in LA in July. So yeah, we're domestic. We're pretty much all around the country at this point. We're cross country.
That's right. Oh, we're going and we have other people joining as ambassadors that are like, I'm not going to say who to protect them, but we have other people that are going to start, helping us out so we can review. We can get more cons under our review spectrum. Mm-hmm. So, and also we have a major announcement. We are openly taking nominations for some of the awards we're doing. So we started doing the awards last year. We did the Con of the Year award every year since the pandemic started, but we do Cosplayer of the Year, Cosplay Duo, or Cosplay Couple of the Year. We do the People's Champion Award, and now we might even do something that's kid friendly. We're still trying to figure that one out because it's not easy. But we do take nominations for like the People's Championship, so we already have a few nominations. So if you want to nominate somebody that does something great for the community, they do good things, whatever the case, it's got to be somebody you feel like they deserve the award, nominate them. And it's not a voting thing anyway, because we're going to research them and like figure out and wait. It is a judgment award where we will pick the person. Yeah, because we're going to pick the person. We pick the person we feel is the most deserving. Last year, Jenna Frank won. For she was doing the Make-A-Wish people that that wanted to meet her dad. She was doing it for. She wore the Green Ranger outfit and went to go visit kids for the Make-A-Wish. So that's really cool. We've done the Make-A-Wish thing before, so we respect anyone that's willing to do it, especially after losing her dad. We didn't know he had mental health issues, and that's one of the reasons why we think it's important now more than ever to bring that up and make sure people are aware that we're here for you. We're going to even start a program to where I'm going to make like a fake phone number you guys can call and text, and in case you ever need us, in case of emergency.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're working on different things this year. Besides the merch, we are starting to sell merch. If you guys are interested, it's going to help cover some of the costs for the show. What's up, Randy? What's up, brother? I've been holding it like a sap? What? By the way, I don't know if you know this. Ulysses Fartknocker was at Allcon as Billy, the Billy May guy, the OxyClean dude. I think you saw him.
Nice. There were so many people at AltCon, I don't even remember half the people I saw.
I don't either. I was like, who are you? Who? I sound like you're making me sound like an owl. Who?
Who?
All right. So, by definition, can you share with us what autism is?
So I am not going to give you like a DSM definition necessarily, but the nice thing is a lot of people are becoming more aware, because obviously it's been called Autism Awareness Month. A lot of people who are in the community and on the spectrum call it Autism Acceptance Month now, because I think a lot of people are aware at this point. So it's more about them being accepting. So individuals who are on the spectrum, and they're even like starting to give levels now as well. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a psychology degree. I would say I'm some form of an expert, because as a mom of a child on the spectrum, you do a lot of research. And I can't ever remember how many hours it is for you to become an expert. It's like 1,000 hours, right? And then you're considered an expert at something.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I don't think I'm an expert on autism. What they say is once you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism, because it looks different for everyone. And so the spectrum, goes, and they're even trying to change the wording from high functioning to low functioning, because they're just differently abled. And so a lot of people are also changing the terminology from disabled to differently abled. And so right now, people on the spectrum get diagnosed based off of their social abilities, their ability to empathize, understand emotions, understand social situations. It varies from nonverbal to what used to be called Asperger's, which is no longer called that. People who are highly intelligent, hyperverbal, can go to college, have jobs, live on their own. They just experience the world a little differently. Autism often includes like sensory processing disorder, ADHD, things like that. It looks a lot like that.
All right. So unfortunately, Sonic does have to go.
Yeah, sorry. It's a little, I have another commitment going on in about a few minutes. So it's good to meet you. Sorry, guys, for interrupting. I'll just plug in my stuff, follow my socials, what y'all know what to do. If you guys are going to the Speed Cafe, I'll see you guys there. So yeah, so enjoy the rest of the show. Hope to see you guys again.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Get out of here.
All right. Take care, guys. See you guys next time.
He's like, later.
So I was going to ask you about that, like, because we know somebody who everyone said like has Asperger's, and I never like really knew what that was.
Well, and they've done away with that term, because now that they look at autism as existing on a spectrum, so people will say that they're on the spectrum instead of saying that they have autism. And so there's so many like, PC terms, and you've got to like learn how to word things, and, everyone's learning, and we're trying to get with, all of the new terminology. But Asperger's has been removed, because now you can just say that you're on the spectrum. And so Asperger's is really just really high functioning. That's technically what my son has. So he's super highly intelligent. He communicates really well. We had to fight to get a diagnosis, because I literally had a doctor who told me, I don't want to give you that diagnosis because your son makes eye contact, and I feel like you're not going to push him if I give you the diagnosis. And I was like, okay, but he has autism. Like, he literally is on the spectrum. And so I think that's been a breakthrough for a lot of people recently, is that now that it exists on a spectrum, people who in the past normally wouldn't have been diagnosed are able to get a diagnosis and then get the correct treatments. And so they're not having to struggle as much, because they're able to get the correct therapies. And that's really what that like boils down to, right? Like, I don't necessarily want like a personal label for myself, but it sure would be nice to be able to know the correct therapies and like things that I could do to make life a little easier.
We have a comment from Yami saying socialization is one part of autism. but includes sensory process, and it's part of the umbrella of neurodiversity, which includes ADHD. I think I have that.
Yep.
Autism, dyslexia. Yeah, I'm definitely
Dyscalculia. It's
they
just like it's like
OCD
words but with numbers.
and so it's a
Executive
lot of words.
dysfunction. It's a
Yes,
lot of things.
it's a lot of things. I
And that's
totally, so
exactly
I lost my spot. I went from dyslexia, and then for some reason I'm back in umbrella. I'm like, what? Wait, what?
and they're exactly right. And that's what I was saying is like it with ADHD and sensory processing. So that was an anxiety. And so my son, we were able to get a sensory processing disorder diagnosis really early. But also don't look up the history of the Asperger syndrome. Oh, I will not, because now that makes me really sad and scared. It's probably not good. Literally anything to do with autism spectrum disorder is sad. I mean, it's been misdiagnosed and treated so terribly.
So it's interesting that, because this community there's a lot of people in this community that don't realize that they have some kind of,
neurodivergence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. People have ADHD, they have ADD, they have autism, maybe there's dyslexic. It's OCD is definitely a big one.
Yeah.
It's a lot in this community, and it's more like growing up when we were growing up, because it wasn't, people didn't have a label for it, they didn't know what it was. It was just like people. I literally learned how to read by playing Pokemon, because you have to kind of because if you can't read and you play Pokemon, you're just kind of out of luck. And I almost cussed again. I'm keeping it at 2.
You did a good job. The creator of Pokemon has autism. And so he originally liked cataloging bugs. And so one of the really cool things about autism spectrum disorder is hyperfixation, right? And so he was hyperfixated with cataloging bugs, and so he created a game in which people could catalog creatures.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He loved bug catching so much that he created a game that's rooster fighting for children,
which is really like hilarious, because so many people I say neurospicy. That's what I say. I'm neurospicy. People who are neurodivergent love Pokemon, because it is, you can catalog and collect. And that's a big part of a neurodivergent, things that are not necessarily tactile, but things that you can like quantify. That's what I'm looking for, quantify. And so my son will like memorize facts. He just has like the Zelda encyclopedia, the Sonic encyclopedia, the Mario, and he just memorizes all these facts and memorizes all these Pokemon. And that's his hyperfixation, is video games.
Do you think, and by the way, this is actually true because I met somebody online that has this, and they explained this to me.
The ADHD?
Yes. Oh, we have a new commenter.
Oh my gosh, Chris! Hi.
Thank you for commenting. First commenter, everyone.
That is my old boss. He used to work at the Burkhart Autism Research Center here in town. And so he's very well-versed in autism spectrum disorder. And now he works at High Point Village. And so he has been a champion for people on the spectrum here in Lubbock for a long time.
So I haven't been diagnosed with anything. So I try to keep like for years, I kept a lot of my stuff like private, and like I didn't share. I didn't open up to anyone. And it seems like that is no longer the case, by the way. Before I go on my little speech, hey Chris, so you're watching on YouTube. By the way, guys, if you haven't noticed that whenever a comment pops up, well, everybody hears on. So except for like Anime Con Party, who has the Twitch symbol.
So it shows a little that's cool.
Right. So we're simultaneously streaming on Twitch and YouTube. So if you could do us a favor, if you could like just give us a thumbs up on the YouTube video, it helps us with the algorithm, because YouTube algorithm hates you if you don't have 1 million subscribers.
Really?
It does. Our
Okay.
numbers have been increasing steadily because of the thumbs up.
Nice.
So it does help us in the long run. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring-a-ling the ding-a-ling button so you can be notified every time we go live.
I'm like literally on it because I was notified when we went live, so I'm on it right now.
See, um, so like when I mentioned we were like we grew up, like there wasn't really like a lot of information. There wasn't a
Yeah.
lot to go off of. Like people didn't really know. Like, oh, you're having trouble learning or reading. You're just not applying yourself. You're just being
Right.
lazy, or you just don't like it, you don't care, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And like I legitimately was in special education classes
Yeah.
in high school. Not in high school, I'm sorry. In school. Well, yeah, in high school too. But like there's also other things wrong with the state of Texas. You know, Texas put me
Yeah.
in ESL classes because when we applied for the school, like, oh, do you speak any other language at home? Yeah, we speak Spanish. So automatically English is your second. If you speak a
Wow.
second language at home in Texas in the 90s, you were automatically labeled, especially if you're a Latino. If you're a Latino and you spoke Spanish,
Yeah.
you were like labeled ESL. Oh, English is definitely your second language. And it's so crazy because I don't have an accent when I speak English.
Right.
And también puedo hablar en español. Tengo un poquito de acento, pero no tanto, no como los demás. Y yo puedo hablar, pero no sé todas las palabras como grandes en español. Yo puedo hablar, ordenar comida o hablar con mi familia en el teléfono, pero la cosa es que yo no hablo mucho español, pero no tengo tanto acento que no vas a saber si no hablo español.
Yeah.
So let me push that SAP button. So I practice my Spanish, so I would try not to have an accent in either language, and that's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to not have an accent. But like I was stuck in ESL classes because I was the slow kid, I got I was made fun of
Right.
mercilessly. I can't say it, but like yeah, no, people made fun of me and it
Yeah.
was they called me all kinds of stuff that I'm not gonna say. You know, people said it back then. We don't say it anymore.
Yeah.
Because that I almost cussed again. But the 2 meter, I have it up for a reason.
2. No more than 2.
Two. Uh we don't say hurtful things anymore. Like, it's a
Yeah.
different time.
I mean, like honestly, I feel like even though we're not where we want to be, right? And that's with everything. That's with racism, that's with sexism, that's with any kind of bigotry, right? But where we are as far as like the differently abled community, like we're a million miles from where we were. And so sometimes I get very like disheartened or disillusioned and get like that things are never going to be enough. But man, they've come so far because like you're saying, like if you had any kind of disability, learning disability, behavior issues, anything, immediately special ed back in the 90s. And special ed back then wasn't, and they call it life skills here now, because that's what they're trying to teach. And so back then it was just, we're putting you somewhere else because we don't know what to do with you. And that's unfortunate because then they don't learn anything.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say because my mom is a teacher, and my sister they're public school teachers. I'm a teacher, but I am a teacher for a private company, so it's not the same thing.
Right.
But they didn't call it that. So I've heard that name. I've heard life skills,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the hell is life skills? That's what I asked.
Yeah.
And they explained it to me. I'm like, we didn't have that growing. I'm like, we didn't have that when I was in
Yeah.
school. Like that would have been like actually helpful. Like I probably would have learned something because like I am dyslexic. I am defined by the state of Texas as special education. Even in college,
Yeah.
because this is supposed to be confidential. So, uh, kind of sharing our secrets out there. But when you go to college, you go to the main office and they give you some envelopes to hand to your teachers that explain, you have a learning disability. So you give that to the teachers like
Yeah.
either before class or after class starts. And this is in college.
Okay.
So this is how it was when I was in college. I don't know how it is now, but like, hey, they told me to give you this. This is because I have a learning disability. Oh, okay, okay.
Right. Because then you would need special accommodations, or they'd be more understanding.
Right. Yeah. The accommodation is that they will give you more time on your homework or more time on tests.
Yeah. Which I'm like, our whole like adventure that we went through, our story with my son was definitely like we had behaviors and things that we noticed. And then once it was time for him to go to school, we were like, we don't, I mean, what kind of accommodations would we even need? I don't know. And I knew nothing about ARDS, 504s, IEPs, like all these magical words on how to get accommodations. Like I knew nothing.
You're using a lot of big words there.
I know. I know. Well, and we didn't know any of that. And so whenever it came time for him to go to kindergarten, I didn't want him to go till he was 6 because I wanted him to be able to be mature enough. But the public school system here, whatever, was like, he can't be in preschool in public school. If he is 5, he's got to be in kindergarten. And so we have 3 different school districts here, and one of them actually came out and did an assessment at our home. Mm-hmm. And so that's one we went with. And then he was able to do testing and everything then up there. And that way we were able to get the accommodations right out the gate. We still had to fight for them. And that's why I'm not saying the school district's name. Actually had to get an attorney because, they weren't following up with those accommodations. They weren't actually using them. And those things are important. So like you're saying, giving that piece of paper every year, when my son was elementary, I don't do it anymore because he's in middle school and he'll be in high school next year. But I would write a little letter saying, hi, I have sensory processing disorder. And then once we had the diagnosis, hi, I have autism. And these are the kind of things, that I struggle with, like anxiety and waiting and switching tasks and different things like that. And so once we had a 504 in place, once we had an IEP, we had those ARD meetings, then he was able to get the accommodations, the sensory breaks and all of that. Before that, it was just like, your kid's getting ISS all the time. Mm-hmm. Oh, Chris,
that's an interesting comments.
Autism doesn't define you as a person. Things like a diagnosis are helpful for while you are in school for services. I have many friends that are families that identify as ASD. That's what I was saying, is it was so frustrating because it was like getting that word on a piece of paper. It's not about being labeled. It's about being able to get the right therapies, because there's even specific therapy for autism, and you can't do it. You can't have that therapy unless you have autism.
Right.
And so we, for years, we're like, we want ABA, because we had done play therapy, we had done talk therapy, he had done all kinds of different occupational therapy. And they all helped in their own right, but it was just like there's like that missing piece for therapy. And so even for me as an adult, and Chris can attest to this, because when I was working with him, I was always like, I'm pretty sure I'm on the spectrum, because I would work with other adults on the spectrum and I'd be like, I experience that. Like, I'm overwhelmed by that. Like, I have echolalia where I repeat things. There'll be like a key phrase or a line from a song, and I'll just repeat it and repeat it. And so that's one of those things, like, should I get a diagnosis? Probably not, but it would be helpful, because then I could, get the right therapies and understand things. What does this say? True story. My mom tried to enroll me in my local public school, and they told her that I was better off being on Social Security because I won't amount to much. Catholic school. Oh, they gave you speech therapy. So that's the thing, is like having these diagnoses, like, it's not about labeling. It's about being able to get the right help, the right therapies, the right treatments. So that's so true. I hate that you went through that too, because that's what we had to deal with my son.
Mm-hmm. They also went on to say that the therapy was the speech therapy, and that Additionally, the Catholic school got them the ADHD diagnosis.
Nice.
It's one thing. I will say this about Texas. At least this is how it was. I want to say 30 years ago. God, I can't believe I'm saying that.
I know. I'm so old.
I just lost my train of thought. The school education system here in Texas, especially 30 years ago, let's just put it out there. It sucks.
Yeah.
Or it sucked.
Yeah.
You got to understand that, like, we try to avoid, we're not going to get political. We're not going to like, blah, 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 this,
Right.
blah, blah, that, whatever. But, like, there was a time where people, like, didn't know what was going on. And they would legitimately say some, I almost cuss, I guess, stop. Counter, where's my counter? They would just be like, why can't you just be normal? You need to try, you need to apply yourself. You're not trying hard enough. And like, there are sometimes, being dyslexic sucks.
Yeah.
There are times where I'm reading something, in my brain, I read something completely different.
Right.
And then I go back and reread it, and it's something different. Like it's like legitimately, what I read, that's what I saw.
That's the ADD too, though.
Right. And so, yeah, I have ADD. Like, I was diagnosed with that too. And so this is what my brain saw. This is what I read. And then I go back and look at it, like, it is completely different.
Right.
It's not what I thought it was. Or when I'm typing, I will type out, like, in my brain, I pretty much know what I said and I have it mapped out. But when I type it and I look at it, when I reread it, like, I'm missing words.
Right.
And are like, I'll see certain words backward. Like, it's crazy, like, how it messes with your brain. Like,
yeah.
And it's not something that I didn't get a lot of help with. Like, they stuck me in special education classes, but a lot of special education classes in Texas didn't do anything.
Right.
Like, a lot of times we just kind of sat there. They made us read the scene. Like, our senior year, they had us read like a book. They like, everyone's gonna read and do, like, the whole school, they had like this big book. Everybody's gonna read it, and then everybody had to do like a report. And so the year, like, we did Beowulf, I think that was one of them.
Yes.
And I remember reading that one, and I thought that was great. And then we read The Hobbit.
Nice.
And then that one was good. And then they gave me Lord of the Rings to go read. I remember being upset. I was like, oh, this sucks. Because I couldn't get past the first few chapters of the Lord of the Rings. So this is horrible.
It's a tough read. Because it's got the epic poetry format, and so there's like listing songs, and there's like listing of families and weapons.
Do you remember Lord of the Rings?
Yes, so I read it. I actually wrote my senior research paper on it my senior year of high school, all 3 books about the religious and allegorical themes in Lord of the Rings.
Okay, so let me go ahead. I'm gonna do this because this is gonna be this. I already know.
He's about to break out in a Tom Bombadil song. I already know it.
Nope. I'm about to the counter. So I did my report. I'm allowing myself one. I did my report when I had to do Lord of the Rings. I read it, and I was like, and I told and I literally wanted to write my report. This is horseshit. This stupid book spends the first 5 chapters with the. Okay, guys, if you ever read Lord of the Rings, there's a good chunk of the beginning of the book where they're walking, and the hobbits, like, I think it was Pippin and Merry, like, they start singing a lot. It's like a musical in the beginning, and the songs make absolutely no sense. Like, the songs are legit, like, stuff that they see while they're, like, on the journey. And it's like, these are awful.
Tom Bombadil
song. There's a tree. My feet hurt. I'm hungry. Like seriously, it's that bad.
I I get where you're coming. It's a writing style, right? It's because it's epic poetry, which is the same thing as like the Odyssey and the Iliad and Beowulf and stuff like that, where there's a lot of listing and like naming of all these family names and naming of swords and listing off entire armies worth of weaponry. And it's a lot.
But that was fine. Like that was great. That was good because
Just the songs for you?
it was good. Like it was just the songs. It was like, oh, these are horrible. Because we had to like I had to read the whole thing, and I even read the songs. I was like, these are horrible. Like these are bad.
They're fine. They're good. I get it though. I mean, it. So here's the other thing, like being able to be with teachers who understand like your disabilities and your accommodations and stuff, and giving you helpful, I'm not saying like spark notes, but like helpful annotations and things, and letting you use annotated books. When I was in college, so I went to UNT to go to film school, and I did not stay in film school. But one of the classes I took whenever I was studying education was educating the exceptional child. And I'll never forget that class because I learned more in that one class than I learned in all of my years of college, because it was about teaching children from nonverbal, unable to read, all the way to like the exceptionally highly intelligent. And as a teacher, you have to be able to make your classroom accommodating, especially like elementary school teachers, accommodating for the entire spectrum of everything. I mean, all things, behaviors, everything. And so looking at education as just one size fits all is incorrect. And I loved that class because it talked about, I was labeled GT, gifted and talented, whenever I was in elementary school, and they did the testing, and my daughter just got accepted into the GT program. It looks a lot different now than it did in the 90s. But one of the problems with that is then you put expectations on children just because they're naturally smart, and they don't get to just like learn at their own pace. They're like forced into this fast-paced learning. And so all of my friends that grew up doing GT, and then we became AP and whatever, honor students and stuff, we all have anxiety. A lot of us hate reading now because we read so much as kids. And it sucks because I actually love reading. But like you were saying, I'll look at something and I'm like, that's not what that sentence said 2 minutes ago. But it's because in GT classes, they did this thing where there was a red dot and we had to learn how to speed read. So I don't know how to just read to enjoy it, because I was trained when I was like 7 or 8 years old to like read a dot, like going fast. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, there's this whole thing. You have to do the whole gambit. You have to be able to teach kids of all abilities, and it's hard. And so I do feel for public school teachers, and they do not get paid enough. But has it changed that much from the 90s? I don't know. I don't think it's too much better. You want worse than Lord? I love the Canterbury Tale.
That was another one because they're so like they beat her. That if you look up the definition, individual that beats around the bush, that book is in there. There's a picture of that book.
I actually loved Chaucer and the Canterbury Tales so much in high school that I stole the book.
So let's just put it out there, guys. Harry Potter, the books, has a much closer resemblance to Star Wars than the actual movies.
Oh.
Ready Player One. Ready Player One, there's a lot of like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Ready Player One.
I've seen parts of it.
So like, because it's a virtual world, they cut out a lot of the stuff from the book where like the dudes are doing stuff to themselves.
Yes.
Good. Thank you. Like there are some movies that are better than the books, and there are just some books that are better than
it. Because they simplify it. Because
as
a writer,
they cut out some of the horrible stuff, like It.
Yes.
If you read It, if you know, you know.
No, thank you. I have a fear of clowns because of that movie.
That's not what I was referring to. No, I like look, I'm pretty sure the McDonald's clown is related to Pennywise.
I was terrified of that clown because of that movie. But so, like you're saying with Lord of the Rings, so there's people who hate those movies. I love those movies, and I love the books because I understand that some of the stuff they had to cut out because those movies with the extended edition, which is the only edition worth watching, they're 4 hours long, and they're still not going to get the whole book. So of course they can't put in every single detail.
Which is crazy because with Lord of the Rings, the movies, they couldn't get there was too much, so they couldn't get all of it for they couldn't get everything in the movie. But for the Hobbit, they literally made stuff up.
So stupid.
So I have a fill-in co-host today who's going to come in here and plug his stuff and shameless, and he might he'll start talking and won't stop. And by the way, before I bring you on, didn't you say you weren't going to get home until 9? Deacon. And nobody can hear him.
Can't hear
Let's
him.
keep it that way.
Can't hear him.
We can't hear you, bro. Can't hear you.
It's like, how about
Can't
now?
hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, the movies were our cash in. So if you they cut out the sex scene between all the kids, thank God.
Gross.
I'm Legend. That's a really good book if you haven't read it. But the point is, like, they gave us these difficult books, even for like the kids in special education. We had to read these books. And like, if you have ADHD or you have ADD, like it's so hard to read a book.
Right.
Because
they didn't have the option to give you audio back then. Audio books.
The teacher, one of our English teachers actually cared. So she read the books to us.
Oh, see, that's a good teacher.
She read that's how we she read Holes. She read out I think she read 4 books. And we had to do a report every day on what we just to make sure we were listening.
Right.
Like a 1-page report on what was discussed in the book. They're digging holes. What more do you want to know? It's to build.
They're digging holes. Who's finding those accommodations. Shakespeare's better than Chaucer. I love both. I took a class in college on both. It was Shakespeare, Chaucer, and Milton. But I'm a nerd and I love that stuff and hyper fixation because I didn't know what any of that was, neurodivergence. I was such a snob about literature back then. I was like, I won't read American literature because blah, 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 whatever. So definitely
Can you guys hear me now?
trust friend. Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so I'm using my new studio, and at first I'm like, oh, the microphone's not plugged in. Oh, I can't hear nothing. That's why I was like, I even sent you a message saying that nothing's working. How do I log off of this thing?
You're fine. So we're so you already know what the topic is. It's we're talking about autism, but we're also talking about other disabilities, about being on the spectrum. For those of you that don't know, if you don't know, you don't know. This is Deacon Rap. He is performing at Comic Palooza. He's going to be, singing about his song where he simps for Rhea Ripley.
Yes, and I'm going to be releasing my new song with big exit. Well, it's not a new song. We just never released it on platforms, called Your Move. It's a song about Yu-Gi-Oh!
Nice. Jesse, your face.
Where's my thing?
Stop the cap.
Oh, wait, wrong one.
Bruh.
Can you hear that? Yeah. Hold on, let me play that for him.
Bruh.
No, Deacon Rap knows I like.
Yeah, I do.
All right, so to kind of emphasize on the I Am Legend. So if you haven't read the book the book has 2 parts. It covers the main character, but it also covers you get the point of view of the vampires.
Oh. Well, now I need to read it.
Because the reason why it's called I Am Legend is because he's a legend amongst them because he's experimenting on them and killing them.
What?
and then
Have
it
you never
ends with
seen
him
this
going on
movie?
trial.
I'm like, wait, that's not what the movie's about. Wait, is it?
Yeah, because they cut that. So in the alternate ending, have you seen the alternate ending, which is now the new canon ending?
Mm-mm.
Like, so in the original ending, he which made no sense if you really go back and watch it. He grabs the grenade and goes he runs into the bulletproof glass and everyone dies. The end. It was like,
Right.
oh god, they with the budget run out. What the hell happened? 4. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. So there's a canon ending where he has I guess they're called night stalkers. If you really think about it, they are vampires because they're sensitive to sunlight. They are technically alive. They're not dead. They only go out at night, and they kind of feed off of people.
Right.
So when he has her, so the kid when they're out and about, and he's trying to figure out. The kid's in this body of water inside of a building, and it's filled with koi fish. And then hey, look, you want to see something? And then he throws some food in the water, and the fish all start you ever thrown food in the water where fish start going nuts?
Yeah.
Right. So that's what happens, and the kid's oh, it's so cold. It's it's so cold in here. And that's when Robert Neville gets the idea to use ice to help the drug that's inside the ghoul, the Night Stalker, and it cures her. And so the main, the lead, the alpha male Night Stalker organized all the other ones, and that's when they attacked his home. But instead of killing everybody, he realizes that he's only attacking, he comes to a realization that, oh, you're attacking me for her. And he opens up the gate. When he opens up the gate to the bulletproof glass, the alpha male screams at all the other Night Stalkers, and they stop. They don't move. They don't attack. They just stand there. And he brings out the infected girl and reinfects her. And they have they're mates. So they have this moment where they're bonding again, they've been reunited. And as the alpha male's carrying her away, he sees the wall of pictures of all the what do you call them? Test subjects. So the alpha male looks at the pictures and he stares at him, and then he turns around and looks at Robert Neville and growls at him, like a scream, like a growl. And Robert Neville's looking at the ground. He's I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And that's when he realized that they have a higher level of understanding than he realized.
Right.
So that kind of shows the reason why that ending is important, because it kind of shows that as human beings, if we don't understand something and it's not what we consider normal,
Right.
then we consider it like a plague, a disease. There's something wrong with you. You're not normal. I'm going to fix you. You need to be fixed. And so in the movie, it ends with him leaving with the others. But in the book, he's put on trial and executed. Because in the Blu-ray, people don't know this, but the Blu-ray had bonus stories to where the people that got infected with the virus, when they became the Night Stalkers, they could actually see and talk to each other normally. From their point of view, we were the monsters. From their point of view, he's the monster.
That's cool.
He's the bad guy because he's the one killing them for experiments. That's why that's why he is a legend amongst them. So that's why the book is great, where the movie's
Just
they kind of, yeah, it didn't do a great job in translating and even then the original ending is no longer the true ending anymore. You have to watch the alternate ending because they're making a sequel. And
so they had to make sure everyone followed along and changed the ending to what it really is.
I mean,
if you buy the movie now, go ahead.
why
Why
Who
what?
asked for this?
Well, first off, sir, look, man, look. You made Dommy Mommy. We didn't ask for that, so I don't know why you hating.
Yeah, y'all did.
I didn't ask
Well,
for
not
that.
you did, but the fan base did.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen Dune. So, but
What?
I do have a question. I haven't seen Dune. I haven't seen Dune.
You haven't seen
There's
Dune?
so much stuff out that
Right.
I know like I have some form of like ADHD or ADD, because one thing that a lot of people that do when you will take something and you'll watch it repeatedly over and over and over and over and
Yep.
over,
Comfort
and
food.
I have that sometimes with certain movies. I've seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World like for instance, Endgame. I saw it in theaters like 5 times, and I've seen it on Blu-ray like 7 times. Like Dragon Ball, I've finished the entire series 7 times
Wow.
in 4 different languages. And I've read the manga. There's just certain things that I will watch. And I always thought that, because nobody explained it to me, so I always thought it was something that it was like a comfort, like a nostalgic feeling to where like, okay, I like this. This is interesting. I know what happens, and it makes me feel comfortable, so I'm just gonna stick with it. Like, I finally saw Happy Gilmore for the first time the other day.
Wait, what?
What?
I've never seen Happy Gilmore. I have never seen there's a lot of movies that people are like, well, have you seen this?
Jackass.
I'm like, no, I'm not watching that. If I look,
That's crazy.
I lived Jackass in college. I'm not watching it.
That was a reference to Happy Gilmore.
Oh, dude,
He saw it one time.
I saw it once. Calm down.
That was like easily one of the funniest parts of the movie, where the guy keep calling him a jackass right before he swings, and he's
I
like,
remember the guy that messed with his game so he could get
Yeah.
like in trouble, and then like because they could kick him out of the league. Yeah, but saying the word jackass, by the way, you're gonna bring my counter up to 4.
Oh my gosh.
"Oh, sorry."
No, I can't cuss. I can't stop my guests from cussing, but from a sponsorship point of view, I gotta stop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
If you
speaking
just
of which,
blurt
yeah.
out the word jackass, that's like 1,000 movies right there.
It's like 5 now. Looks like now you're at 5.
Yeah. Which, speaking of which, I don't know if you understood my comment, but the con owner whoever took it seriously about you being the most controversial, it's like, I bet they think that wrestling storylines are real. Like, I bet they think that Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero actually did want custody of Dominic Mysterio.
Right. So here's the thing. We're gonna go back on swear jar for the poor. Leave me alone. It's at 5. So one thing I will say, it does take me a little longer to learn things. Sometimes I have to watch certain things more than once. And but I've learned to, like, everything for the podcast, when it comes to equipment, when it comes to the microphones, when it comes to the audio mixers, when it comes to us running karaoke, marketing, everything. Not only did I learn to do it on my own, I do it on my own. Like the comments popping up, that's me. That's me controlling it. That is, the images.
But that's
Those
because that's your special interest, right? So that's one of the thing about neurodivergence in particular, is that it's the hyperfixation. It's a special interest. So if it is something that interests you, you're going to be able to learn it. You're going to be able to engage with it, be able to share it more easily than, like you're saying, something that you don't care for. And so that is something that I had to learn about with my son, is he views everything through the lens of a video game, and he wants to create a video game. And so for him, like, it's all about, like, can I earn XP doing this? And so if you want to, like, get him to do something, you're like, oh, that's worth 5 points of XP or whatever, like, because that's his special interest. And so you saying that, like, if you have something that you care about, it's so much easier to learn about it, engage with it. With things like rewatching shows, comfort shows, I'm that way too. I've watched New Girl, I don't know how many times at this point, because I know what to expect. It's not going to give me anxiety because I'm not going to have to learn new character names. I'm not going to have to wait up for cliffhangers to be resolved. I already know everything, and I already know that I enjoy it. And so it's not necessarily a hyperfixation in that regard, but it's comfortable. And then I can go about decompressing the rest of my day. So that is very neurodivergent of you to have seen Dragon Ball that many times.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
I've seen Yu Yu Hakusho 10 times.
That's fair. That's fair. Jesse, your
Boo.
face of
I wanna
No,
boo
but
you.
it's like I'm not ND, yet you're saying all these things about ND, and I'm like, wait, I do that stuff.
By the way, we found a meme.
Maybe
glad you're
you're
here.
neurospicy like the rest of us.
I'm glad you're here, Deacon. We're gonna go off topic for just like a minute.
Okay.
I know we've already gone off topic, but we're just
It's
gonna.
like
This
we
is
haven't been on topic
specifically
for a while.
for you.
Okay.
Specifically for you.
I feel attacked by
No,
the
this is
meme.
not for you at all. This is strictly for him. This is just him.
But
This is legitimately him.
I should say I resemble that remark.
No, I have yours over here.
Okay. Well, I don't.
Where's yours? Oh, here we go.
Jesse, just because I said Lotteria.
That's me always. Agua frescas.
This is Deacon Rap. As soon as I posted this, everybody like started saying that. Oh, look, it's Deacon. It's Deacon. It's Deacon.
Wow.
Wait, when did you post this?
On the Discord, you're never there.
I try to be.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I commented
Ouch.
on there like a day before yesterday.
I
Totally
posted
don't.
this one in the Kaka posting, and literally you got called out. Like
Nobody tagged me.
nobody's gonna tag you because it's kind of an insult.
That's funny.
Oh, my girlfriend tagged me. And that was it.
His girlfriend did tag him. She was like, "Oh, that's."
I think she's the one that called you out. Oh, look, it's Deacon.
That's good. I'm like, no, wait. Here, where's the one that's actually me? I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So-
So in my current friend group, whenever I take him to Taco Bell, they're like, "Can we not?" And then they're like filming, like he's taking it to Taco Bell by force.
There's so many better places.
I know he wanted to take me to Taco Bell. I'm like, are you just trying to piss me off?
At this point.
No, this is. I got. This is mine.
Shut up. It's too real.
I don't want to, not to sound like that guy, but that's at any party.
That's why it says Latinos more than one. That's
Yeah, I know. That's Latinos at any party.
yeah, exactly.
Wait,
Latinos
anything,
showing
not
up to a
just a
kid's birthday
party. That's fair.
when there's more kegs than kids. But like
Wow.
when you so we're gonna go back. So I do have a question. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Predator. I don't know if you've ever seen a Predator movie.
Yes.
So people were kind of upset with the last one. Not Prey, but the last one that was actually called Predator. So the kid he's autistic, but it's like they try to play it off as some kind of like alien experimental, like, oh, he's like, they keep calling him weird and a freak and all this stuff, but he like
Right.
he has like this insane level of like photographic memory, and
Right.
like when it comes to like the alien technology, he's like a duck in the water, I guess that's the saying.
He just figures it out immediately.
Like immediately, like instantly knows
Right.
what it is and how it works and how it operates, and like
Like
he understands the
superpowers?
like it's like, yeah, they treat it like a super alien superpower. He can even understand, like he can kind of understand the language. Like, what is your opinion on that? I wanted to get your opinion on that.
So I think, I mean, I haven't seen that one specific one that you're talking about. So, but I will say, as far as like representation in television and film, right?
Mhm.
That as a whole, it's problematic because, like I said, when you've met one person with autism, you've met one person. So they're showing one type of autism. They're showing one level of the spectrum. They're showing one symptomology, like hyperintelligence or sensory processing. Like they don't show it well rounded, I guess, a lot of the time. There are some shows that I think have got it right. Atypical is one of those shows. I've watched that show multiple times and really, really good. Whether or not they want to look at it as autism as like a superpower or like alien thing. So I actually, with all of my art students and stuff that are on the spectrum, I tell them, and my son too, I tell him all the time that I feel like autism is a superpower. And I almost feel like it's us that has the problem, right? There's nothing wrong with neurodivergence. We just have to learn how to communicate with it appropriately. And so my son looks at the world a different way than I do. The people that I teach art, the adults that I teach art to, look at the world in a different way. And it's up to the rest of us to learn to accommodate that and learn how to communicate appropriately. And so I don't like hate, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I don't hate the idea of it being looked at as a superpower because I tell all of my students that I feel like their autism is a superpower. They have a way of looking at things that I could never do, that I don't look at it that way. And one of my favorites, she can look at something and know if it's gonna like fit. She has like really good spatial recognition. And I hit every curve I've ever seen. I have no like spatial awareness. My son can memorize facts on facts on facts. Like that kid knows every Pokemon ever. And I can't do that. Like that's just not one of my talents. So the way that the media chooses to portray neurodivergence is problematic, but if they're going to look at the positive aspects of it, what was that show with the mathematician? He's like solved crimes using math or something. I don't
Oh,
remember.
I've heard about that show.
Yeah, it was the guy from the Santa Claus who played Bernard.
Tim Allen?
No, the guy who played Bernard.
Oh,
The elf. I cannot remember what it was called, but shows like that are like Sheldon Cooper in The Big Bang Theory, right?
yeah.
Right. I was actually going to bring that up.
Highly on the spectrum, right? Like socializes differently, but like super intelligent, can memorize facts and can do huge scientific problems that Penny could never. And so part of it they show in like a negative light, and a lot of people don't like the way that they show Sheldon Cooper because he's very stereotypical. Asperger's, which we don't use that word anymore, but because it's what's the word? Not a farce, but it's that show it's a comedy, and so it's going to be exaggerated.
Can I just say, because you said the word Asperger's, and I want to kind of share my experience with so I haven't used that, so I didn't use the word a lot, so I didn't really know, because we knew somebody that everybody would claim like, oh, this person has Asperger's, blah blah blah, because they were like being like loud and like just like it's a long story. The guy's a jackass, but for other reasons, not for that. Like there are other reasons why. There's a reason why he got demoted to gopher. Anyways, so like the first time I heard that, I was like, what the hell is Asperger? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Like what? Because I'm dyslexic, so like I'm hearing Asperger's. Like what?
Yeah.
That sounds gross. I'm not. What? No. What is that? And then like they try to explain it to me, and whenever I hear it, I always hear it as Asperger's.
Asperger's instead of Asperger's.
Yeah. So, but So the way I hear it, and it's not like I'm doing it on purpose or anything. It's
Right.
just like that's how I hear it. And I'm like, and I'm thinking in my head, like, who the hell comes up with these names?
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. It's named usually, and I haven't. Someone commented like, look up the history. Like I'm sure it's from someone's name or something. But I think because we are, simplifying terms and making it just be ASD, being autism spectrum disorder, and looking at it that way, that's nice because there aren't. I mean, idiot savant was a term that used to be used, and in its name, it has a derogatory term, and so it was definitely one of those things where they didn't know what to call it, didn't know how to label it. So they're like, oh, yeah, they're smart, but they're an idiot, because they can't socialize, they can't communicate. So idiot savant, that's what we'll call it.
Mhm.
And one of the psychologists that saw my son when we were trying to get diagnosed said that. He's like, oh, your son's, an idiot savant. And I was like, okay, number one, we don't use that term anymore. But it's ignorance. And so I think where Autism Awareness Month and stuff came in is people were just really trying to like get people to understand and be more aware. And now that people are aware, it's more about being accepting and like teaching your kids and teaching my kids and teaching other kids how to communicate and to ask people like how do you want to be communicated with, and how can we better adapt the situation that we're in to accommodate you. As an audience person, how is it autism is a superpower? It's kind of demeaning. That's fair. And that's absolutely, you are 1000% allowed to like feel that way because it's you're the person with the diagnoses. I think the way that I helped my son look at it, and it's really helped him through his diagnosis and stuff like that, and a lot of the villagers that I used to teach, was because they were taught that they were deficit, that they were less than. And I don't look at it that way. I look at autism as just a different way that they're looking at the world.
It's kind of like if you've seen Forrest Gump, it's kind of like how the guy, how they portray Forrest in the beginning as like, oh, he's this. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like when the school principal did like the IQ test on him?
Yeah.
They're like, he's this, he's not going to amount to much.
Because that's how it was, bro, here in Texas in the 90s. Like, that
he's from
is
Alabama. Oh,
it
sorry,
doesn't
Texas in the 90s.
right. No, but
Texas
that's how
in the
Texas was in the 90s as well, like 80s, 90s, whatever. Like, oh,
That's just how, I mean, mental health was everywhere forever and ever, especially in the,
it's still like that now. Like
it's not great. Yeah,
it
it's
sucks
not.
because if you're like and this is not just, this is like a lot of communities of people of color, like mental health is either seen, it's not a real issue. Just to sum it up, it's not a real issue,
Right.
where people, it's because like the way it is, especially if you are from Mexico, like the whole purpose of life is to just work,
Right,
and like take care of your family and then die. Like that's, and I'm like, that's on paper, but when you actually go to Mexico, it's a little bit different. But that's how, like, and we have a lot of anime fans. That's how Japanese culture is, guys. Like, that's why, like, mental health is such a problem in Japan. Like, if you guys don't know this, they are in the top 10. I don't know. I got to check the chart. But when we were going over, I don't want to say the word. For one, I don't like saying it. Secondly, YouTube doesn't like the fact that we say it. YouTube is so stupid. And so is Twitch. We're not allowed to say anything bad about gringos. I can't even say the other word. So I got to throw in some Spanish in there.
He's like, what you going to say?
Here,
say it to my face.
You know what? Okay, I will. I will. There. I can't say that first. I can't say those first two words in a bad way.
Oh.
How about saying people of non-color?
Of non-color,
You know how horrible that sounds?
people devoid
I mean,
of color.
as a person of not of who is of non-color, I mean,
You know
I'm
what?
okay with
You're
it.
done. Uh, what was I talking about?
How about
Japan. Well,
oh,
so to kind of add to that, the reason why we do so many, like I wanted to do one. I want to do this one talking about autism because people, I've talked to you about it. Like people, and I've talked to other people about it. I feel like some people feel like autism. Everyone knows what Down syndrome is, right? Let's just put it out there. People feel like it's the same thing.
Right, so it's a miseducation and then misunderstanding, and I think because it also all falls under the umbrella of intellectual disability, right?
Right.
But it's functionality at different levels and ability. It's about abilities and being differently abled and not looking as it as a disability. And I think in this community, particularly, um, in the nerd community and the convention scene, neurodivergence is incredibly high. I think that's one of the reasons why we come together as a community is because where we haven't fit in other places, whether it be because of neurodivergence or our interests or whatever, we all know what that feels like. And so our community just attracts neurodivergence as a whole. And so I think more of my friends in this community have neurodivergence than not.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So
yeah.
everyone knows how I feel about the. Hold on, I got you, Deacon. Everyone knows how I feel about the community. Right now, I will say this: the community has a long way to go when it comes to improving itself.
yeah.
I have a daughter. Everyone knows here. I have a daughter who's 5 now, and I don't know. I'm gonna stop beating around the bush. I am really debating on if I ever want to introduce her to the anime community. Not anime. I'm not talking about anime,
Right, but the community.
but the community.
And that's fair.
Because we know people that are, there are people that are autistic, they are dyslexic, that ADHD, AUHD. Uh, they have that, but they're also like kind of toxic.
I mean, there's
Because
toxic people in every community, right?
Mhm.
And I think one of the issues that we have in our specific community um, is it's like the people who were bullied have now become the bullies, right? So there's like a nerd hierarchy. Are you nerdy enough for dot dot dot? Are you like gatekeeping? It's gatekeeping is what it is. And so I feel like it's like, oh, so we're all weird, but you're weirder than I am. And it's unacceptable, inappropriate. And so instead of being, I was very much like that at one point. Like, I'm not going to bring my son into this community. I'm not going to have him be a part. But instead of it being that where conventions aren't accommodating, right? For the most part, they're not. I've decided to build my own community. And so that's where like Lubicon came in to play. I felt like there was all of these different like groups spread out around town. Like here's the gamers, here's the comic, here's the cosplay. And then like we brought them together. And it's just a 1-year event now, but it used to be community events all the time. And one of the things that I have always wanted to be a part of that was being accepting of people of color, people of different genders, sexualities, like whatever, but specifically with neurodivergence, giving them a safe place to go. And so several years back, we had a calm room, and then we didn't have it for several years, but this year we got it back through a group called LBK Can. And so they had a sensory friendly space for people to go who get overwhelmed, because conventions are not a safe place for people with neurodivergence. They're loud, they're crowded, it's a forced social situation. They're not usually temperature regulated. The smells aren't great. It's not a great place for people with neurodivergence.
I'm gonna throw up. I
You
just
know
had
exactly what I'm
PTSD.
talking about. I know. I also realized, like, I was in front of an open window and the sun is setting, so now I have like this tiny bit of light. So I like went from full
You're
light
okay.
to being in the dark.
It,
But I think instead of being like, and this is hard because not everyone can do this, right? And not everyone has the voice or the ability to. But instead of being like, this community's broken, I don't want to be a part of it anymore, is like creating those safe spaces for those people. I started taking people, we call them villagers at the place where I used to work. I started taking them to conventions and learning how to play D&D. Dungeons and Dragons is an incredible, quantifiably proven good game for people on the spectrum, because it involves communication, teamwork, social skills, creative thinking. Like, it is such a good game for people on the spectrum. And so being able to pull, instead of pushing those people out of the community because they don't fit, it's making a place within the community for them. And so I know what you're talking about. Like, it's probably not safe for your daughter in the anime community for lots of reasons. But then, so creating those events and those spaces for people who are outside of the norm, outside of whatever you want to call normal, so they can be a part of it, because we've all been left out of something. We didn't fit in. And that's the last thing that we want in this particular community. Like, we want to build safe spaces for all of those people who are outliers. And neurodivergence is one of those.
Real quick, Deacon, did you have something that you wanted to add?
Oh no, that's just me agreeing with what you were saying.
Okay.
Yay! I'm like, I
So-
should turn a light on. I can't see me or anything. I'm
Yeah,
disappearing slowly.
Because I'm trying to, like, it's messing with my. I don't know why.
Hold on, let me turn on a light. I was in front of a window. I had great lighting. Now I don't.
It's dark. It's dark. It's dark. It's dark.
It's dark like Jesse's soul.
No, it's not. I don't have a dark soul. Stop telling people that. You know what? While we wait, we're gonna do the this test for you.
Okay.
All right. So this is us killing some time. I want you to read this.
Yes, okay. I was
Read
like,
what?
I'm gonna hold on, man. Let me pull it up. Read that for us.
Toma Buska Q Haser.
There you go. That's why we call him Taco Bell guy. Taco Bell rap. It's because we talked about it. We mentioned it. You know, it is everyone's very much aware that there are a lot of people that have that. People call it an ailment. They call it a disability. They have it just, just part of who they are. Whatever you want to refer to, differently abled. People that have different names for it. But it is apparent that there are a lot of people that are, that are autistic in the community, and it shows. Right. It shows, and a lot of people are, they don't really have their voices voiced.
No, absolutely not. Well, like I'm saying, because they just get pushed out of the community instead of us making a place for them. Mm-hmm. And so that's been something I've been a champion of for a really long time. And that goes with mental health as well. When you said you were going to do a podcast for Mental Health Month, that's great, because we used to do a panel. It was actually with Daniel Calhoun, and my old podcast, the Wonder Twin Powers Activate show, Aaron Prado. We did a panel at Lubbock in 2017 called Con Saved My Life. And it was very much about being accepted into a community and finding your tribe and feeling like a part of something bigger than yourself, and about those of us who push for that and strive for that. And I feel like So yeah, we've accepted ... but there's still people on the outside, and we're like, oh, well, so we're weird, but you're too weird. And I'm very much against that. I want us to be able to be an accepting place for everyone.
Do you think it's better now than it was? I'm gonna say I'm not gonna go that far back. Has it? It is better now. Let me rephrase what I was about to say. It is definitely better now, for sure. Like, there's no shadow of a doubt. But do you feel like it's significantly better, or it's like it's baby steps compared to like maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago?
So I stopped going to conventions in 2017 for a while. I continued to do my show. But the experiences of, and it wasn't just about neurodivergence, neurodiversity in conventions, that had a lot to do with it. I didn't feel like it was a safe place for my son. I had my daughter, and I was like, I don't want to take my kids to these shows. Like, this isn't a place for kids. I would never take my children to AllCon. We go to conventions here. We go to Lubbock and YC3, but we have a kids area at Lubbock. All of the booths are spotlighting like nonprofit organizations, and they have activities that have to do with some form of pop culture, anime, sci-fi, whatever. But
So,
most conventions don't
do you
have that.
mind? Do you mind if I just do something real quick?
No, go ahead.
So, okay, I want everyone to look at this because I'm about to go on a rant.
He's about to go on a rant.
All right, hold on. So it says 5, right?
Oh God, he's about to amp that number up.
All right. So let's talk about. I want to just rant real quick about children. Just not because I'm a dad. I have a kid now, and here's the thing, guys. We were doing a review for a convention. I don't know if it was WeaveCon or IkiCon, or it was one of these conventions, right? It's one of these cons to where they had like an entire area. They had an entire area like, well, they closed it out. It was supposed to be an adult 18 plus only area. Like, so their conventions have started creating areas for like adult cosplayers, lewd cosplayers, whatever. Who cares? Right? But they're making these damn areas to make people happy, because there's a lot of us in the community that have kids, and there's a lot of us that don't have kids. And for those of us that do have kids, I'm sorry, but I would never. I don't know if I want to take my daughter to an anime con because of some of the shit that I've been seeing on the fucking internet. Like, someone literally complained, "Oh, this con should have been strictly 18 plus. There were kids in the con floor, there were kids in the elevator, and I couldn't reveal my cosplay until I got to the adult area." I'm like, what the fuck are you going on about? It's a family friendly convention. The fact that they have a safe space for you to go and wear your lewd cosplay, you should be happy with that, because it's never been an adult convention. And that seems to be more of a frequent complaint, where people are just fucking crying like, I'm so sick of kids being at the con. Like, why do you bring your kids to the con? Like, why the fuck do you care?
I have like a whole like personal like view on all of that, but then I also look at it as like, people will say, well, you're a mom, so it's a different experience for you, but I don't have kids, so when I go to a show I don't want to see kids. But when they were kids, wouldn't they have liked to have been able to experience their fandom that we were teased about or not allowed to enjoy? Being a nerd was always bad, right? Like, you're made fun of. And like, wouldn't we have liked a safe space as a child to be able to go
Yes.
and share that?
Yeah,
So
because
when adults, we didn't have that. Like, so
If
when
I
adults,
may,
go ahead.
if I may bring up a point, I feel like this is somebody who hasn't been going long enough to remember a time when we were all we had.
Yes. Yeah.
But like, here's the thing though, and this is to add to the point. We didn't have conventions growing up. Everybody knew about Comic-Con and like the San Diego Comic-Con, not the vast like diversity of comic book conventions we have now. There was San Diego Comic-Con, and there were like the Star Trek, Star Wars conventions you would hear about on TV, but you never actually saw them.
Yeah.
Like anime was not. People don't remember when anime wasn't mainstream. People don't remember when we had to go to flea markets to get the bootleg shitty
Yes.
VHS with the poor subtitles.
Yep.
Like
That's how I
we were
watched Sailor Moon.
exactly like we were trading VHSs like Pokemon cards.
I
People
think I hate to say that it's the new generation. That sounds crappy because I'm not going to be like ageist or like whatever, but it is very frustrating to think about that there is an adult. Maybe they didn't experience what we experienced as children, where we had to like hide that. Like no one knew I liked Lord of the Rings and Star Wars because I was a girl, and like you weren't allowed to talk about that. Like people would make fun of you. Like it wasn't for girls. Girls weren't allowed to play Legos. Like I grew up in a very different time. When now like my daughter wears Stranger Things shirts and Sonic shirts to school, it's like it is a different time. So our kids are getting that community that we didn't get, that community that we wanted so badly, and we would have thrived as children. But instead, we were pushed into lockers, we were teased, like people threw away our comic books, like all the things, right?
Mhm.
And so it is very frustrating for me when people are like, oh, I don't want kids to be at conventions, like they should have their own, whatever. But for me, I'm like, say that to you yourself as a child, that they didn't belong at a place where they felt safe experiencing these cool things. So I know that that's an unpopular opinion. I know that people go to conventions for different reasons. I got really involved in the cosplay community for a while, and I backed out because there was drama and a lot of stuff like that. And so I'm taking my kids to Fan Expo. My daughter's never been. My son's been to a Dallas big Comic Con once. And I'm taking them in June because they both are so involved in nerd culture now that they will enjoy going. My son can't wait to meet Dustin from Stranger Things. My daughter is excited to meet McKenna Grace from Ghostbusters. And I'm actively like enjoying seeing them get to experience things I didn't get to as a child. And that's a huge reason why I wanted to start Lubicon. I wanted Tristan to have that experience. I wanted my son to be able to know what that was like and to not have to hide the stuff that he likes. He was so nervous about wearing anime shirts to school, and now that's all he wears. So I want them to get to be themselves. And like you're saying, all we had was like Star Trek conventions, and I wasn't even like a Trekkie, and so I would have never gone to that.
We didn't even have those in Houston though. Like
I don't think we had them in Lubbock either.
like if you're from Houston, if you know where Acres Homes and Airline is in Houston, then you know. If you know, you know. Like that is the hood. Like Airline is Latinos. Acres Homes was a black community. They had Bloods there. A bunch of cholos and Airline. So and like people don't like realize, or they just don't want to get it. But like how people are in the closet about their sexuality, you were in the closet for being a nerd or a geek.
Yes.
Like you got the shit kicked out of you especially the Yu-Gi-Oh card players.
Attack.
Like seriously, somebody like they were playing, because I was a Yu-Gi-Oh card player until I played football, and then I had to like stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh because like I was trying, like I wanted to play football because I played football in ROTC, and like I was built like a Coke machine with legs. So let's just put it like, and one of the guys took like one of the Yu-Gi-Oh card players was playing with another Yu-Gi-Oh card player. And a commenter, Frank, I want to give a shout out to Frank. He's a buddy of mine from college. We had to go buy secretly anything anime related that was like drugs back in the day. We went to college together. His brother is a friend of mine. They went to Sam Houston High School, which actually had such a bad graduation rate that they restructured the entire school, renamed it, everything. Like it was bad. But to get to my point, they took one of the football players took his deck of cards while he was playing, snatched it, and the kid, like I want to say kid, I guess we were kids, but He's like, hey, that's mine. Give it back. Oh, you want it back? You want it back? That's $20.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, like, nobody gave a shit. Like, that was normal. That's how it was. Like,
And
that's how
that's the
you were
world that
treated.
we're trying to build better for our kids, right? Like they don't have to experience that, and we want that for them. But it's also like then there's a sense of entitlement because they didn't go through what we did, where they're just like, oh, well, being a nerd is like cool, like everyone does it, like it's not a big deal. And it's the same thing with like
And-
my son having the ability to go to an autism walk or whatever. We did an art show that was for the month of April, and be able to be like, yeah, I'm on the spectrum. Like you wouldn't have said that in the 90s. They didn't even know what it was.
Exactly. People saying like you're having a hard time making eye contact or focusing or just doing anything. People would call you names. They would especially use the word freak a lot.
Yes.
Why are you being weird? Why are you being a freak?
And
It
like, I'm
sucked.
not saying it's completely gone. My son definitely still gets teased for things. People still use inappropriate terms, with him, and I get it. Like, it's not perfect, but like you were saying, like, how far do I feel like it's come? And I mean, I don't know, man. There's ADA passes now, so there's disability access passes, so that people who are on the spectrum can go to the front of the line for autographs and photo ops. But not every show has that. Some shows have the calm rooms and the like sensory safe places, so that's cool. Good on them. I think as people become more aware, and that's like our job, right? Like as human beings, not just as parents, but to help with awareness and to teach our kids and to teach other adults and other humans, like, hey, here's this thing that I know about, and here's how you should react to it. So I think the convention scene has grown. Has it grown as much as it should have? Absolutely not. 1000% no. And that goes for neurodivergence, that goes for the safety of genders, that goes, I mean, there's a lot of things that conventions could do better. But because they made a few little small strides and got applauded for it, that was enough, because they're still making money. They're still making money regardless of if I don't bring my son because it's overwhelming and they don't have a safe place for him. They're still making money because the Big Bang Theory 10 years ago said the word Comic-Con on regular television, and now everyone's like, oh my God, it's so cool. Everyone wants to go to Comic-Con and meet celebrities.
I think, well, here's the thing. I will preach this, and I will say that I usually say this on one of our panels, A Hill I Would Die On, which I did steal from Zeros to Heroes, but in my defense, they kind of stole that from somebody else anyway. Because they ran one of my panels, and it's a panel, it's called Making Your Own Panel 101.
Yeah.
And so somebody went in there with that idea, A Hill That I Would Die On. And so they pretty much stole it, and I stole it from them. But one of the things I feel like we owe something as nerds, as geeks, whatever you want to call us, otakus, weaves. I'm not a weave.
You shower?
Well, otaku, look, and I know I'm gonna make somebody upset. Otaku actually means geek. So, like, for people that didn't know, no, it's not the same thing. That's what it translates to.
Well, that's even like literally calling someone a weeb even 5 years ago was a slur. And now my son's all, I'm a weeb. Like he owns it.
Right. No, yeah, no. I think weave and weeaboo are completely different. Weeaboo is like people that think that they're like, oh, and like they consider Japan like the Holy Land. I'm like, you realize Japan is a nationality and not a race itself?
Racist. Like literally racism.
And like, if you go to Japan, you're what they call a gaijin.
Okay.
Which is, it's outsider.
Right.
So like, if you use something about actual Japanese lore, here's the crazy thing. And I mention this all the time. Japanese culture, the people there, they have adopted Cholo culture.
I've seen that on TikTok. It's so cool.
Like there's an entire Cholo community,
Yeah, like subculture.
right? And people
Cool.
like there was a debate like, is this cultural appropriation? Like, are they? And a lot of Latinos like myself were just like, are you offended that the Japanese people are using your culture as their own? Like, no, I don't really give a shit.
But isn't it just them like celebrating it? Here's me saying it's cool as a white person. I'm not allowed to really like weigh in. But
Yes,
isn't
you
it
are. Stop.
usually-
We've had this talk.
Isn't it usually white people that are saying that's offensive? I'm like, okay, you don't get to say anything. Ask someone that's a part of that culture.
People
Like-
don't. Okay, let's go even further. You want to talk about, because we already made Twitch upset by talking negatively about white people. What people don't understand that cowboy culture, it's not white people culture.
No, well, nothing. So technically, so someone asked me one time, they said, because I'm trying not to whitewash my daughter, she is half Latina. And so they're like, well, don't you want to enrich her in your culture? I said, my culture? You mean the culture that I stole? Not I stole, my ancestors stole from everyone else? Like, what is white culture, though, but the accumulation of everyone else's cultures? Honestly,
I don't think you can steal culture. Honestly,
I think that you can appreciate it, and you should appreciate it. But I feel like, I don't know, man. Anything that people, because if you start listing the things that would be white culture, it's American culture. Oh, cherry pie, apple pies, cherry pies, hot dogs, baseball. All of that is white versions of other things, like, or from other American versions of other countries. Like baseball is cricket. Like soccer is like football. Like we don't have our own culture. We stole it.
y'all got hot dogs. I mean, that's cool. But then again, like Mexicans have Mexican hot dogs, which is just a hot dog wrapped in bacon.
What?
You never had one?
I'm like, ew.
I'm gonna culture you up. Let's see.
I
No,
was
like,
looking at the comment that said, in my experience, autism is cute as a child, but once you're adult, you're being immature. And I feel that a lot, and I hear that a lot from my art students and stuff, because they are adults, but they will carry a plushie or a comfort item or whatever because it makes them feel safe. And a lot of us have been so afraid of doing those things. It's called masking. I mean, we hide those behaviors and things. And so I've been unmasking. I sleep with a stuffed animal. I'm almost 40. I don't even care. But I do get what you're saying. It's very true. A lot of the adults that I work with struggle with that, because they're like, I literally am old enough to drink, but people are like, oh, I'm not going to give you a drink. Like, you're autistic. That's ridiculous. Like, they're an adult.
people like, oh no, trust me, I get it. It's like, oh, you still buy toys, you still play video games.
We as a culture have to get past that. As a society, like, we have to get past that, because it's about enjoying life, man. And there's where, and I did not mean to offend you, person who said that was demeaning to call it a superpower, but that's where autism is a superpower, because people on the spectrum don't give I'm not using the word because I don't want to up the counter.
No, the counter's just for me.
But they don't. They're living their life, and they're being their honest and real selves. And that is a superpower, because the rest of society is so concerned about what everyone thinks about them. And they're living their authentic, real selves. They're going to have their hyperfixation. They're going to have their special interest. And so I love seeing some of the like new generations come up that have had the support in their diagnosis, because they'll be like, oh, I saw someone comment on one of my TikTok videos that said, this is one of my special interests. And I was like, yes, like they get it, and they're owning it, and they're being themselves. And I'm trying, man. I'm a Disney adult. I get called a child a lot, but Disney's fun as hell. Like, I'm sorry, if you don't want to go meet Captain America and also drink an alcoholic beverage, then you don't know how to have fun. Like that is fun.
I mean, technically Jesse did that already, but as
But
Captain
no,
Mexico.
That's true.
no, it's not the same. I don't go to Disney World or Disneyland.
Oh,
I
go
go
to
to
Disney World. Never mind. I didn't hear
yeah,
that part.
I go to the purga. I go to the flea market.
No, I would also appreciate meeting Captain Mexico. He had cantaritos in his bag when I met him, and I was like, "Oh my god, someone has real alcohol here," because Jarritos is my favorite.
It's because like so we went to a party and somebody brought on like what the I was like what when did they start making alcoholic jarritos like and they're great, they taste great,
They
they're
slap.
amazing, but they are like gassy and that's the part that sucks.
Well, because it's carbonated, but I'm like I can't drink hard stuff, so
So, do you like Mexican White Claw?
No,
no.
no, White Claw tastes like somebody pissed in a can.
White Claw. Oh, what is this? I haven't seen this picture before.
This is from Comic Palooza last year.
Nice. That's a good cap too. I've never seen that guy.
The
Comic Palooza's in Houston.
yes,
Okay.
we're gonna bring you next year.
I know I've never I have not been to a show in Houston. I've been to a show in San Antonio. I've been to a show in Dallas. I've been
Oh,
to a
which
show
one in
in
San Antonio?
Austin. I went to Alamo City Comic Con to meet David Tennant in 2016.
Oh,
It wasn't a very good show.
Alamo
And then
City
I went to
Comic-Con.
the superhero
Superhero car
comic
show.
I went to that in 2022 and it was awful, but I got to meet Ewan McGregor. So
Got it. Yeah, Alamo City Comic-Con. They owed the city $165,000.
I can believe that.
I mean, Anime Matsuri owes millions. That doesn't stop them.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
That was
Alamo
my
City Comic-Con, they never came back from that.
Yeah. Now that's
Well-
why there's the superhero car show, like all those other shows that are popping out of San Antonio
Yeah,
now.
but it's like Thomas J. Henry owns Superhero Car Show. So it's like they can afford to just throw money everywhere at it.
Well, that's why they have really good guests, but their show as a whole isn't ran like real great.
Yeah.
Like as someone who has been to like big to little shows, it felt, and this is again, some people said last year was better, but the year that Ewan was there, it felt like a small first year ran show because they had empty booths, they had Cincy people and Verizon people, and like most shows that are of any credit don't allow MLMs in there. We don't
What's
at
MLM?
LevelCon. So the multi-level marketing, so like Cincy, Advocare, like where people pyramid schemes where they sell stuff, they buy into it, and then they resell it.
I'm starting to see more and more of that, at least in San Antonio Con, because like Alamo Hero Con is owned by a Alamo Toyota, I would assume, because they have basically the same logo and the same font style.
Yeah.
And I noticed they're having more company-based guests in there. And I noticed even what was their name? WeebCon had a few of them in 2023.
Really? And I am not trying to talk bad on people who do that stuff, but I just feel like a Comic-Con isn't the place for that. Like there was a local creator who should have had that booth.
yeah.
And that's really for our show. We spotlight and work so hard on supporting local artists and local comic writers, and like we really want them to have their space to show. Another show that will remain unnamed called us the Arts and Crafts Con because we support local creators, but I would rather them have a booth than Verizon. Like Verizon doesn't need my show to make money. I'd rather someone local be able to go and celebrate what they love too. And it's the same thing with like having an entire area for kids. A lot of people are like, that doesn't make you any money. I'm like, not the point. But we're a nonprofit organization.
I have to disagree with that on certain levels, depending on the event and the level of catering to the family-friendly dynamic.
Well, yeah, because if the parents come, they have to buy a ticket.
Yeah, Some so and I use WWE as a reference. So WWE caters to a lot of like they're more family friendly because at the end of the day, like who are the ones that are going to spend the most money? Like the individual
Or
who showed up and bought like one figure for $300, or like the guy with like the two kids and he spent like several hundreds of dollars on each.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like I said, this fan expo that's coming up in June will be the first time I've taken both of my kids. Both of my parents are going. My mom's never been to a big Dallas show. I've taken my dad before. So we're in full force showing up at the show, and I have spent more money already than I have at any other convention I went to as a single adult.
oh,
I
yeah.
would have never paid for a photo op with Dustin from Stranger Things. Like, I think that Gaten's amazing. I love that show. I went and met Eddie Munson, but I'm going. Like, my son's going, and so there is a lot to be said about, like you said, like it's catering to families, and there's a big group of us going as opposed to me just going by myself. Like, I'm going to Frightmare by myself. I'm not taking my kids to Frightmare.
Hold
But
on. Wait, get the hell off my show.
Tia Plancha is our Disney.
What the pancha? Seriously, pancha, what is that?
What's the Pancha?
It's a store.
What's the Pancha?
Store?
You know what?
I
I got
He
all kinds
said,
of memes for Deacon.
No habla español.
I thought it pronounced Espanol.
No, that's his running gag. He does that, and it's
Well, here's the thing. A lot of them I actually can't pronounce correctly. Like, my girlfriend keep telling me it's pronounced Kamau. I just say como because it's so much easier.
como.
Yeah.
It's a como. But
Yeah,
Col-
but then you cook tortilla. You cook
Oh, a
tortilla.
comal.
comal.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, I thought you were saying comal. Okay, comal. I thought you were saying
Comal.
como. Almost such an easy word to say. Comal.
Como comal.
Bro, you
I
can
have
bring
a
out the Spanish.
comal.
Deacon say jalapeno.
Stop.
Jalapeno.
Don't encourage him. Stop. Stop. Please. God. No. Please.
Oh, that bear's angry. That bear's-
Our mascot is a bear.
Hey, have you heard that whole TikTok trend?
Uh-uh.
The big thing on TikTok right now is asking a woman if they would rather be left alone in the woods with a bear or a man.
Look, as a dude that has had another guy grab my ass, and I mean a full handful of my ass, like not just like a tap or like a
Yeah.
slap where they say good game, because apparently it's okay to slap another guy's butt as long as you say good game. You better not slap mine. I've been to the Renaissance Festival, and this dude just like, because I was dressed up as Pikachu.
Oh
and so
yeah,
he
when
didn't know what
when your face is covered, they dehumanize you.
Yep, he didn't know what my gender was, so he just got a handful of my cheeks, and then he's like, "Oh, you're a dude." I almost kicked the shit out of him.
Disgusting.
But I wasn't gonna do that. There's a reason why my Captain Mexico has tactical armor for the plates to be inserted into it. So if you don't know what I mean by plates, they're metal platings for tactical armor that makes it bulletproof. This is for the people in the comment section. So you insert the plating in the vest and it makes it bulletproof. So I have to have that when I'm out in the Texas Renaissance Festival.
Because people touch you?
I wish that were the case, because then I wouldn't need the plating.
That's literally so scary.
They're
So yeah,
shooting
you choose the
guns?
bear.
Hey, what's up, Elliot? What's going on? Happy late birthday, by the way. Yeah, so I was walking around in my poncho and sombrero one day, and I had a Mexican flag, and this dude was really drunk, and long story short, he threatened to shoot me.
Ugh. Gross.
And it wasn't the first time. Well, it's not just well, I wish it was just a guy thing, to be honest with you, but it's a problem overall.
People of non-color thing.
People of non-color thing.
Yeah, let's just go with that. Like I said, I'm not
The
going to get political.
non-melanin.
So there are Renaissance festivals that don't allow you to fly any banners, any flags, any kind of advertisement
Oh,
of
really?
your political association because they try to create a safe space, right?
Okay.
The Texas Renaissance Festival does not do that. You can fly whatever flag, whatever, let's make whatever great again, whatever, vote
Oh,
for
God.
whoever.
Yeah.
Make Walmart 24 hours again.
Right. Thank you. Finally,
Yes.
somebody gets it. So, like, people have those, like, they're very open about their political views, no matter what side of the spectrum you're on. And when you are mixing that with alcohol,
No, that's never good.
sometimes people make some really awful comments or jokes. And when they realize they're cool with you, like during the day, but once they get some alcohol in their system and they're like the liquor's talking at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, whenever I wear the cosplay by itself weighs about, with everything, weighs about 20 to 25 pounds. With the plating, it weighs almost 40 pounds.
So Jesse said bear. He chose bear. That's what I heard.
I choose. Well, my nickname is also because, like I said, I was built like a Coke machine with legs.
I would literally choose a bear over a man.
The Oso.
So-
The Oso.
Especially non-melanin man. People of non-color. People of no color. That sounds even worse. What word can we use to not get
I don't. Hold on, I got you. Hold on. I got a meme for almost every situation.
Yeah, but you didn't show my meme that I sent you.
You sent me. You got to tell me when you send me stuff because.
No, I sent it to you earlier. I said this is actually the meme that is me.
When did you send that?
I just sent it to you like since we've been talking because you were showing like.
Oh no! I told you that's not you. Oh, that is you. That's the one I sent you.
Me. That is me. I've had that saved in my phone for like 5 years now because people. That's me. People like, but it's funny because my last name is Cortez, and so there are some people who are like, "Oh, I thought you were just light skinned." That's me.
I mean, yeah, that's like people think like all Mexicans are just brown skinned.
Güera.
You're just Güera. You're just light skinned.
Güera.
You're Chata. That's your nickname. I said we were going to give you a nickname. We got it. Horchata.
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 Man, I didn't get to have it, but at Disney they had alcoholic horchata, and I wanted to try it, but I didn't get to.
It's pretty much just horchata with tequila, right?
I don't even think it was tequila, honestly, but yeah, they just had a lot of like really fun drinks. The best drink that I got was at the Cozy Cone in Cars Land. They had a watermelon margarita with tahini on the rim. So I was very happy. I could have drank 12 of those. Very good. But then people are like, why do you carry tahini with you everywhere? And I'm like,
why not?
Leave me alone. There's a reason why they make travel packet.
Sometimes the food is not seasoned and you got to bring your own seasoning.
Yes. When I found out that they had powdered version of tapatio, I was like, I used to carry it in my lunchbox all the time.
There's when I'm trying to find the stupid meme for y'all. Damn it. I have so many that it's like
He's meme claws.
Really? Like I have some for like one with dogs when it says me trying to avoid eye contact with the crackhead at the gas station.
Oh my
god. Let me see. There's one where it says, oh, here it is. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm nervous now.
Fucking people of non-color.
People non.
No, it's like Homeboy
non-melanin.
in like that's my boy, the Adam Sandler movie with the black priest when they find out that the dude's fiance has been fucking her brother. Like, oh, you fuck your brother, and everybody's like, and then they show the priest. He's like, fucking white people.
Gross. Yeah, literally.
It's So there you go. That
I will say, and this is outside of like the geek community and stuff, but I will say that the way that you gave me PTSD. The way that
Shut up, I know.
oh my god, that hurts so bad. The way that people on the spectrum and people with autism and stuff are representing themselves on TikTok now. And people are like embracing their diagnoses, embracing like their quirks. I've really appreciated that on TikTok lately. In fact, there's a whole thing called Tism Riz, and I appreciate that much. It's that manic pixie dream girl where everyone's like, "Oh, you're so quirky and weird. I'm attracted to that," and I'm like, "Oh, it's the autism."
Do you prefer if people would call it stuff like quirks, whatever?
I don't have an official diagnosis, so I don't think that I'm allowed to say that. I think that that's usually just a way for people to say something mean using a fun word. Mm-hmm. So it's nice. Oh, it's nice to say that you're quirky or whatever, and that's better than saying weird.
Well, in the anime community, because now the word quirk is what we now use to identify like superpowers.
Yes. Yeah. So being quirky isn't necessarily, that's true.
Does anyone know what blancos mean?
Oh, just use blancos.
Oh yeah, white people.
White.
Blancos.
All right, hold on. Before we continue with our
there you go. Here we go.
Okay. Miguesta Polo D.
How did I instantly get a headache?
How Crema con Araz Y Fried Joel's.
I instantly got a headache as soon as
I feel like you're doing that on purpose, though. I feel like you probably.
It's like this. I know it's pronounced me gusta, but the last one, fried Joel, I can't do that one.
That's beans, frijoles.
Frijoles.
Oh.
¿Dónde están ¿Dónde están mis frijoleros?
Gusta pollo de mole con crema.
So what did that translate to?
It's mole.
Mole.
With rice and beans.
What does it translate to?
I told you. Chicken with
chicken.
Mole and cream.
You know what mole is, right? It's that chocolate.
Uh-huh.
It looks like gravy,
chocolate
but it's not gravy.
I don't know what mole is.
God, Jesus Christ. How do I describe mole? I've never had to describe mole, so I don't know how to describe
chocolate gravy.
Yeah, it's I love this guy.
I love you too, bro. 69% Diddy.
No Diddy.
Yeah, that's a running joke on the internet, but like we've avoided that joke because he's still under trial. And you can make the joke, you're fine. I can't make the joke because we got to maintain that journalistic integrity
again. If no one ever mentions that man's name again.
Okay, thank you. Mexican curry.
Mexican curry.
I've never had curry before, so
the hell out of here.
I also am dying because I didn't even see that
avoided it.
Rumchata was brought up, and rumchata would be really good in horchata because it is essentially alcoholic horchata.
We made a drink with horchata called Ultra Instinct.
What was in it?
So it had the tequila we got had to come from Mexico. We had to go get it. So there's like a bit of Everclear, there's a bit of
I was
tequila,
like, I'm out. You asked me
horchata.
if Everclear.
But the reason why, because we added, there's another ingredient which I'm not going to share on here, that counteract it, so it gets rid of the Everclear. Like the Everclear burns, right? So it kind of cancels that out, but the strength is still there. That's why it's called Ultra Instinct. It's supposed to be the old, like you have to master that level before you.
Nope.
I miss curry, Mexican curry. Oh Lord, I take it back. They don't like you anymore.
Well, I don't like you either.
Yikes.
Hey, be nice to my audience. They keep the lights on. Actually, I don't make any money. I actually lose money with conventions.
Then we all.
The reason why we talk about like autism, and we mentioned this before, but it's a 2-hour show. But we like to mention certain things again. It's because people have there's different types of people. There are people that are enlightened. They are open to learning new things. They're open to new horizons. They want to be enlightened. That's what the word enlightened means. And then there are people, when you say the word enlightened, well, I'm not a Buddhist, I don't want to be enlightened. That's not what it means. Like there are people that just like they get their knowledge secondhand, like movies or shows or whatever people say on TikTok. Like people will legitimately go on TikTok and get their news from non-credible journalists who have done no research, have no information, no proof, nothing whatsoever.
People just
And
saying
what's wrong with that? Why you gotta call me out for?
I'm like, bro, you already have enough problems. You said jalapenos, and half my audience.
Frijoles. Frijoles.
You said
Frijoles.
blancos and frijoles.
Frijoles.
Yeah, she said fragiles.
Frijoles.
But
you're right. Like some of us want to continue to grow and learn things and understand the world, and not just accept things for face value. So you're right. But you're also right that there are a lot of people who are happy in their ignorance is bliss.
Right, like they're happy in their bubble. Here's the thing. I am a firm bruh.
Uncle Ruckus. I don't
Bruh,
understand.
He can't be because he's not. He knows Latino el way.
What?
Nothing. I said you're a good person. El güey no es Latino. No mames. No.
Jesse, be nice.
I'm telling my friend. No says the mamon. We went to college together. I can say that to him. No says mamon way. Déjalo en paz.
I don't understand what Uncle Ruckus has to do.
So okay, so I'm not gonna translate mamon, but I pretty much said like I called you way, which is kind of like it's an insult, but at the same time it's like saying bro. Because we use way for everything, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, leave him alone. You're not Latino, so just
yeah, I'm Italian.
Yeah, he likes spaghetti and like Super Mario. So
oh, bro, there's more to Italian culture than just spaghetti and Super Mario, right?
There's more to Mexican culture than Taco Bell, right?
A Taco Bell is American. I've established that it's just American food cosplaying as Mexican food.
I like that. That's fair. I just call it white people Mexican food.
Like, what the hell is a taco pizza? Anyways, so
that Mexican pizza used to slap like in '99.
Yeah, before everything slapped.
Before I had real Mexican food though.
Yeah, when McDonald's had a dollar menu and it was affordable.
We had it all.
When Taco Bell actually, when the bean burritos were like 70 cents.
You mean 39 cents?
I don't know how much they were.
The 39, 59, and 89-cent menu.
Well, anyways, going back. I was gonna say that there are also that's from the learner's perspective, right? There's the people that want to know, and there's the people that are like, well, I think you're just making stuff up. I think you're a snowflake and you want to be special and the world doesn't cater to you. Like legit, this is the mindset of some people. And you don't have to be one of the two. You can fall in between, or you could be in a different, plane of existence. But then there are the people, the teachers. There are those who are willing to educate. They're willing to teach you. They're willing to show you the ways. Learn you must.
Oh, we're the Yodas.
But then there are the people who are like, well, you should already know. You need to educate yourself. It's not my job to teach you.
Gatekeepers, yeah.
I'm like, to hell with you then. Like, I asked a legit question. I want to know. And your response was, well, you're part of the problem. You should already know. I'm like, and I think it has a lot to do with like this culture. And I'm not talking about like Mexican culture, white culture, or black culture, or anything like that. I'm talking about like US culture.
Societal standards.
Like that's how it is. Yeah, it's such a standard here to where you either know it or you don't.
Yeah. And
instead of helping you get it, you need to get it on your own. And it's like when you are like me, I like to research stuff, but there are times where I'm going to look that up when I get home. I'm going to look that up. And I just forget, and it's not on purpose. I just forgot. Yeah. Like it sucks.
That's a classist remark too, though. That's very class based too, because that's very much like you should already know. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I didn't have access to that, so that's like me moving from Lubbock to California in the late '90s. Like, in my little white girl brain, I thought racism was over, bro. Like, I was like, there's people of every color in my class, and I love them, and I had no hatred. So I was like, family matters as a black family. Racism is over. And then I moved to California right after the LA riots. So they're like, girl, racism is very much still. I mean, that's if you're not exposed to something and you don't choose to expand your horizon, which now that the internet is around, you have no excuse. You can live in your shiny little castle of ignorance and really believe like everything's perfect because I'm okay and because I'm not experiencing ... But right. Man, there's a whole world outside of you.
That is a whole different topic.
Yeah.
The whole racism, especially in the community. Ooh. There's a lot of that.
What?
Yes.
What? Don't you have got you're joking, right?
I am not.
You don't know about the actual racism in the community?
No.
Okay. Go up to Google.
Mm-hmm.
Or not Google, I'm sorry. Go to any forum like from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. Mm-hmm. And this is still a thing today. 4chan, whatever. Whenever you see a Sailor Moon cosplayer of color,
okay, now I see what you mean.
They will always refer to that person as Black Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Anime Matsuri 2017. My friend referred to someone as Black on Black Goku.
See, that's.
I'm not really friends with him anymore.
No, I'm not. I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add that. Like I kind of said it, but that's racism. Like that's like saying, oh look, it's racist. Mexican, Yu-Gi-Oh, or look, it's Asian Superman, or look, it's.
You mean Goku?
No. Ha. But hey, look, it's a Black Wonder Woman or whoever.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen that I forgot that was a thing.
That still is a thing.
It is.
There's still cosplayers in this community that do blackface. So
yeah, that, and I'm just like,
what was his name? Leon Churro. What was his Churro?
Leon Chiro, yeah.
Churro. He darkened his skin for a cosplay, and he got shit for it, which I think on his behalf was really stupid. Because he wanted a darker skin tone. He could have just tanned his skin to get the tone that he was going for instead of use
Right.
makeup. And I'm like, that was really dumb, guy. That was not. And I liked that guy. He was cool. We had a good conversation. He gave us an award. He gave us his judges award when we were the Ninja Turtles because he liked the fact that we used our Ninja Turtle cosplay to visit kids in the hospital.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. That's why I wear a lot of mascot cosplays, because I need my cosplays to be kid friendly in the event that I want to use them to visit children.
Yep.
And if you if you are a Ninja Turtle and you just happen to look like Shrek with a ninja mask on and you visit kids, that kid's gonna scream.
But that comes down, I mean, that's a whole nother topic too, because then we could talk about racism and sexism. That's a cool costume. And gender things with cosplay, because I mean, I don't have the body type, or I'm not the right age to be ... but I do hospital visits because my mom is in her 60s and she did Cinderella, and little girls were, oh my God, it's Cinderella. Like kids just, because they're hopeful and they're not disillusioned like we are.
It's like that one year I was just walking around in regular clothes. I wasn't in cosplay. I wasn't I didn't even have my hair fixed. It was just I was just walking around, and my friend thought it'd be funny to start calling me Maui. So people at the convention started calling me Maui, and this little boy in an Elsa cosplay called me Maui, and I was like,
Oh,
I guess I'm Maui now.
that's awesome.
Did you
I
tell
love
the
that.
kid? Did you tell the kid? What can I say except
I actually sang the song at
welcome.
karaoke, but even the Islanders, the Samoans, the Usos, the people that were there, even they referred to me as Maui. They're like, what? Like, bro, I'm Mexican. He's like, we look alike. It doesn't matter. But I have always done bigger, bulkier cosplays to kind of because I said, I'm not gonna wear a skin tight outfit. I will never. First off, I don't have the body for it. Secondly, when I was
Oh, wait, I'll tell you what Captain Ameridad would say to that. Don't say, I don't have the body for that. I know. I was saying that and struggling with that this week too. And I didn't have him here to put me in my place. But cosplay is for everyone, and cosplay has no body type. Don't say that. If it's that you're uncomfortable, but it's not that you can't, because you can. And Dan taught all of us that, because he was Captain Ameridad with his dad bod, and we, I try to remember that, and I didn't have him to talk me down this weekend when I was beating myself up over a costume, and that right there, the community experienced a huge loss, because that man championed for everybody.
Mm-hmm. It's I actually felt really bad because I never. So we went to Alcon before. I think the last time we went was in 2019.
Yeah.
But it was on and off. We went once one year, then we didn't go back for several years, and then we went back and started hosting panels.
Yeah.
We went 2 years in a row. We missed. We went back because it was Dallas, and me and my ex had an on and off relationship.
Yeah.
And it was Dallas, so I was trying to avoid Dallas conventions like a plague. And our first breakup happened at Alcon. So
oh God.
I didn't go back for a while. I had panels. I didn't go back. So, and then this past one, there was just some issues with getting my kid, and not talking shit. Okay. Just for the record, for her friends that are listening, I'm not talking shit. I'm just
For the lurkers.
And to our friend, thank you so much for supporting the channel.
Yes, you already got your shameless plug. But I do Captain Mexico now because we did a podcast. We were interviewing movies and we were just talking trash. And I was like, as much as I love Avengers, like there was not one Mexican on the battlefield. Where were we?
Yeah.
Where was El Santo? Where was El Chapulín? Where was Nacho Libre?
Staying out of white people business. That's what.
Like, so I saw this like popping up a lot, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like it because like it just looks like, I mean, it's a great cosplay. I think it's amazing. I think the guy did a great job. He definitely it looks amazing, but I don't like the fact that it's just a carbon copy of the Captain. It's literally just the Captain America
Oh
suit.
yeah,
This is
with
from the
different
first
colors.
Avengers movies.
Yeah.
And so I didn't like the fact, and I thought the sombrero was kind of like too much.
A little on the nose.
And so when I designed mine, I was like, how can I be different with mine? So mine is actually based off of Soldier Boy from The Boys.
Nice. Okay.
That's why I wear the scarf. So like mine was more
The Infinity Chancla.
Yeah. So I took Soldier Boy from The Boys and turned it into the Captain Mexico.
Yeah.
So that's why like the design for it is actually not that much different, but the armor is because in case somebody tries to do something while I'm wearing it,
but it has to be a
because
thing.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, I wear it. I know what I'm getting into when I wear it to the Renaissance.
Right.
Like like people are gonna be like, then why are you wearing it there? Like if you know what's gonna happen, then why do you wear it?
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then the people that the people that are like against it, that don't want it, that are being evil, they win.
Yeah.
So like Renaissance is very gatekeeping, and there's so many subjects we have to talk about, but I do want to wrap up because we actually went 35
We're
minutes
going
over.
over. But I do
know.
want to say, he did not put up the best comment was Frank said R2D2 is Mexican. Arturito.
I can't whistle, but yeah,
He's my favorite character. He's the most important character in Star Wars. Arturito.
He's about the same height. One of my uncles.
That's hilarious.
It's for I don't.
Hilarious.
So yeah, I feel like racism. There's definitely a lot of racism out right now, but there's also something called classism.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
people do mistake the two.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of classism right now.
Yep.
So because you can be but like I said, well, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of bad, like there's a lot of good in the community. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good people. There's a lot of amazing people, but there's also a lot of bad in the community that needs to like.
You can talk about the good and still say we have somewhere to grow. We have space to grow, and we should continue growing. We should be accepting all genders, religions, political affiliations, races, classes, abilities, like all of that should be accepted specifically in this community. Like, I'm not going to go to a sporting event to feel accepted. I already know that's non-colored people territory. I'm already going to not deal with that. But I feel like in this community where we are literally the band of weirdos, we're the outcasts, like we should be accepting everyone. No questions asked, like unconditionally. So a lot of space for us to grow, but education and you taking the little moments to be like, here's a podcast about autism awareness, autism acceptance, people pushing for like a sensory area, you know, there's room to grow.
There's a saying. This is very controversial, but it's kind of like not related, but at the same time it is kind of. I guess you can take it based on your own interpretation. But someone once said, it was actually Cat Williams. He said, they asked him, what is the most toxic thing that you could ever say to a person? Don't ever change.
It's true.
Why is that toxic? Because don't ever change has different perspectives. There are different roads to that, right? You could be the greatest individual in the world. You could be Gandhi. You could be Keanu Reeves. Or you could be like you could be a horrible person. But even if you're like the best, even if you're the worst, everyone in the world should be open to growth. And what comes with growth comes change.
Yep.
To be truly enlightened in the world, you must embrace the unknown and come to accept it as your own.
Absolutely.
And I think people have to change to adapt.
Yes.
So when people say don't ever change, I don't like saying that. I don't like ever saying it. I always tell people, like, look, change is good.
Yes.
Change makes things better. Change is what gave me self-checkout. Now I don't have to talk to a cashier. I don't have to explain to you why I'm buying all these action figures. Look, mind your business.
We're supposed to grow. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if we didn't have change, we'd still be living in caves and hitting things with rocks.
Without change, we would still be using different bathrooms. Because believe it or not, like, Hispanic was not a thing, guys. In the early, like, Hispanic is relatively new.
Yeah. Well, that was not even, it's whenever people talk about racism and stuff, they focus very much on African American history and like warranted. Like, it's a very troubling past, but like they had the bathroom for whites and the bathroom for blacks. But what about everybody else?
Well, if you were Latino Hispanic, you were labeled as white if you were born in this country.
Crazy. No, thank you.
Yeah. So like that. No, I'm dead serious. That's why you think it's like, oh, the white population is the majority in the country, which is true. I mean, but you also have the Hispanic population, which if you're of European descent, yeah, you're white. Let's just put it out there. You are. Latino
Right.
is the one that makes you that's Aztec Mayan half. That's where we are with that. But Deacon, so let's go ahead and wrap up. Is there anything that you wanted to say? Not Deacon, but no, Deacon, I need you to go ahead and do your Comic Palooza advertisement, because I didn't get to post your video, by the way, because I got it late. I took a nap today when you sent it to me.
All you had to do was download it.
I'm lazy. Leave me alone. I advertised you. I said, go see Deacon Rap. He's signing autographs for he'll sign a picture of himself for free, but if you want your butt or your chest signed, that's like $5.
$5.
No, what you got to do is bring me a Taco Bell gift card.
Those exist?
Yeah.
Sick.
I got like 4 of them for Christmas.
To eat his jalapenos and fried jolls.
They don't have jalapenos.
I think my heart stopped when you said that.
So
like in a bad way. I saw a light.
Plug away, Deacon.
Yes.
Plug away.
Plug away.
Okay. So this year at Comic Palooza, I will be doing Otaku Rap concert Saturday of the con at 5 p.m. in Ballroom A. And then I'm gonna be doing Tagashi's Legacy, Yu Yu Hakusho versus Hunter x Hunter, Saturday at 7:30 p.m. in room 340. And then lastly, Sunday at noon, I'm gonna be doing Behind the the world of Initial D at the Pink Pearl stage.
You got. I'm so upset that you got your schedule already. Like, I want to know if my stuff got denied or approved. I just want to know. Let me know.
Well,
I don't
here's
need to
the
know
thing.
the times. And
I've been talking back and forth with the programming director for like a month. So
I've been talking with him too. We were supposed to make a deal for WrestleMania, but they couldn't do it because they already had another event.
oh, you talk with Russell too?
Yeah,
Oh.
I wasn't. You're not supposed to put his name out there.
Oh, sorry.
Trade secret. Trade secret.
Yeah,
Look, make no doubt about it. I am coming for you, Comic Palooza. I am coming, and I am coming hard. Matter of fact, I am coming harder than I've ever come before. And if all my haters aren't down with that, I got 2 words for ya. Suck it.
So he actually sent me an email saying, "Hey, I run programming for Comic Palooza, and I saw you submitted a lot of panels. If we were to approve all of them, do you want to do them all, or do you have a priority on any? How many do you want to do? And it is the same group of people on all panels." And this is my response. I was like, "Sir, if possible, I would like to host all of them. Honestly, between you and me, I would like to host more. I've been helping Comic Palooza for years, so I do what I can when I can. I even host the panels where the host had to cancel." And then we just had a whole conversation, and then we had one about WrestleMania. And I'm friend, so like this individual is the events director of Comic Palooza as a whole, but each like you have different categories. Like you have anime, and what the hell happened to my headset? There it goes. You have like the individual that handles events for like anime, like the stages. I'm friends with them, so every year like I'm gonna just shut up now. I'm sharing. I'm oversharing.
Overshare.
Overshare. So Geeks 5 ever will be at Comic Palooza. Deacon Rat will also be at Comic Palooza. You can get all the details at comicpalooza.com. Danae will not be at Comic Palooza because
I will not, because I'll be at Frightmare.
that's right. It was sad. We're gonna cry.
Wait, Texas Frightmare Weekend is happening that same weekend?
May 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Oh,
The
that's the
weekend
weekend before.
Oh, it's a weekend before.
Oh man, there was an event in that weekend that we got invited to that I completely forgot about.
I will be at Frightmare, but I have never gone, so I'm very excited.
Yay.
I got my picture with Skeet and Matthew Lillard. Skeet Ulrich. I'm very excited. With my Scream Boys.
So did you want to so now it's your turn to plug in your social media.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok under the Big Bad Mama Wolf. I do, and you can follow my convention Lubbockcon and my cosplay group LBK Guardians on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, I don't know. My art will be at First Friday Art Trail in Lubbock in June for at Rock Paper Shears for their LGBTQ Pride Month display. So I'm very excited about that. I've got to show at her February show and her April show, and I get to show the June show, and so I'm very excited. But yeah, if you want to see me do subpar cosplays and bad lip syncing, you can find me on TikTok at the Big Bad Mama
Whatever.
Wolf.
That's not. None of that is true. They're not subpar. Like, don't be lying to the people.
That's real. That's real.
That is not. They are not subpar. It's not bad lip syncing. Don't. She's selling you a bill of goods. Don't buy. What do the people say now? What do the kids say? Fake news. That's fake news.
Fake news. No
Fake news.
cap.
Cap, bro. Drop the cap.
No cap. No cap. My cosplays are
On
busted.
God.
There you
On
go.
God. Period.
There you go. There you go. Hold on. Okay, tell me if y'all can hear that.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Yes.
Stop the cap.
Oh,
All right, and
God.
I think I have one more. Hold on.
Period.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Yeah, so don't stop the cap. Like no cap. Like her shit's pretty good. Damn it! Now it's that's 2. Oh, there it goes. I.
We're about to hit 3 hours, bro.
All right, so thank you. No, thank you guys, everyone that's checked us out. So like I said, the show is definitely unique because like as the show progresses throughout the night, the numbers fluctuate. Like we don't always have the same viewers, and then we have the after, like the replay viewers,
Yeah.
and then the comment section is like half the show. No. But all right, guys. So make sure you join us at Comic Palooza this year. Geeks 5 Ever is doing the podcast show as part of the podcast program. We know that was confirmed. That's definitely happening. I will get the details just a moment. But we are part of their podcast program, so we're excited to be coming back to be a part of that. It's we haven't done the podcast program with them in a while. So we're definitely excited. But it is the Geeks 5 Ever live podcast at Comic Palooza, Friday, May 24th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Oh, I guess that could work. I could make that work, actually. I might have to work. I'll figure it out. So we're going to get 45 minutes, an hour. We have a special guest who we haven't announced yet, but Deacon Rap bamboozled his way onto my show.
I didn't bamboozle my way onto your show.
They're like, hey, man, you want some
He said,
Dragon
I
Ball
was
Z figures?
invited.
Treat
No,
me like
I
a
was
crack-
just showing you these figurines, and I was like, hey, look at how I got these $40 figurines for like $8 at Ross.
First
And you're
off,
like, I
those
want
are
'em.
not $40 figurines. Those are $20, $25 figurines that scalpers sell for $40.
Okay, that makes sense. But anyway, he's
I
like,
want them. I need them. Give me my Broly.
and instead of asking him for money, I asked him for something more important than money.
Right. He's like, hey,
Exposure.
exposure. I'm like, whoa. Hey, keep your pants on, buddy. This ain't that kind of show. No, he wants to be on the show. But so you, Danae, you are actually welcome to join us. Not in person, but you can actually call in.
Yeah,
Friday
also,
the 20.
It's at 5.
Okay.
also, Jesse, I got you 2 more figurines. I'm not telling you what they are.
I'm gonna hit. Ooh. Oh, speaking. All right. So, anyways,
Past my bedtime.
all right. So, Comic Palooza. Go to comicpalooza.com. Our podcast will be live Friday at 5 p.m. in the room 330, which is the 3rd floor. It is in the podcast. It's the podcast room. We'll be doing a live. We'll be doing our version of the convention survival guide. If you've ever seen Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, it's essentially the same theme.
Nice.
We will be telling you on how to survive a convention on a school shoestring budget. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to survive a convention on sugar packets and water. You can definitely do more. You don't have to sleep in your car, sweat your ass off, and go around being stinky.
What you gotta do is you gotta go to Sam's and get the 80-pack of the small waters.
Oh.
I was actually going to say that if you do a trial run at Planet Fitness and do the Black membership, you can use any Planet Fitness nationwide and use their showers to shower.
Oh, that's also a good. Because
That's a
what
great
I would,
tip.
I was gonna say that I go to Sam's and buy a bunch of snacks and put them in my suitcases.
Or you could buy the yearly Costco membership and just walk around the food aisle and just fill up on free samples. Bro, I'm gonna teach them how to be poor.
Bro, I got my membership for like $20 on Black Friday.
There is a way to get it. There's a way to get a Sam's Club membership for $25, but I can't reveal that.
Black market.
No, I'll tell you how later. All right, so make sure you join us. We do have an event page for it. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. Make sure you follow us on. We definitely have more specials coming out. We have the Mother's Day cosplayer special. the Queens of Cosplay. We have our mental health awareness episode. We have our racism in the community episode. We have our Dragon Ball special in December, celebrating 40 years of Dragon Ball and celebrating the memory of Akira Toriyama, the man, the myth, the legend, the creator of the Dragon Ball multiverse. There will be 2 episodes dedicated to that podcast. One with just strictly influencers and fans, and one with the voice talent. We will also have John. If you're watching the show, I'm going to bring. I want you to come back on the show so we can do another topic. For those of you that aren't aware, John Gramillion, who plays Gentle Criminal at My Hero it's for the show My Hero Academia. He's a really good friend of ours. He actually watches the show. Occasionally comes on. We have a lot of specials. We got a lot of things going on. The road to Comic Palooza. That's right. May 24th through the 26th. Go to comicpalooza.com right now to get your passes and meet the one, the only, the 16-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion, John Cena.
Word life. It debates ergonomics.
And Deacon Rap killed it.
Yeah, and come to my content and watch me finish the story.
Yes, come over and watch Deacon Rat finish his children's book. I don't know what he's reading, but apparently it's a big story. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the ringling the dingling button so you can be notified every time we go live. And if you're watching on Twitch, make sure you follow us on Twitch. We are on the road to 1,000 followers. Remember, for a podcast, it's a lot harder to get subscribers but we have short videos. Those are coming back out pretty soon. Box of Props Mario, we're going to do another interview with them. We're going to have him and Princess Peach come on. Like I said, John Grimley is going to come on the show. We're going to drag Danae back on the show. Deacon Rat will eventually be back on whenever he's free, whenever he has time. He's a busy man, eating jalapenos and Taco LaBelle. All right, guys. All right, guys. We'll see you next. We'll see you Wednesday and Friday this week, and then we'll see you next week on a regular Monday show. But Comic Palooza, 25 days away. The road to Comic Palooza is finally here. All right. Good night, everybody.